called. He's looking in Stockton and around Stockton, okay, so he called on a listing I had in Stockton a while back. I've been messing with him about.
Okay, so that should work just fine.
Just so you know.
Hello, everybody. How are we?
Hey.
We have a 12 o'clock appointment and it's 12 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Awesome. Okay, so we should have quite a few people online. This is the first day, and of course, it's an SPS snow day. So, you know, it's really cold outside, so I guess we can't get in our cars and get here, but that's okay. I'm here, you're here, you guys are here.
We're here.
Welcome to Ignite. Ignite is one of our fundamental training programs. It lasts for 20 sessions and it will go from start to finish, everything real estate. So it's all the things that when you went to real estate school, you thought they were going to teach you. That's our job, okay? So today I'd like to introduce my very good friend. This is Amy Hunsaker Williams.
Hi.
Amy, you've been an agent for how many years now?
Just over 5.
And you've got quite the rap sheet on things that you have done, right? You've been in the administrative position role. You've been a solo agent. You're on a team. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
My word. Okay. Liliana.
There she is.
I'm gonna hug you with my hands. Cool. So glad that you're here. Okay, so I got into real estate in September-ish, 2018. I jumped onto a team of a husband and wife, and they were needing help. They were at year 5 of their business, and they had just gotten to the point where they needed someone to come in and help them with showings and administrative work. So that's kind of where I got started. And I knew that I wanted to get licensed. I knew I wanted to be an agent on their team, but I needed the experience under my belt. And I found out right at the same time that I was pregnant. Surprise. So I worked with them and I learned everything that I could from them over that time. I want my hug too.
We got royalty in the house, friends.
And also grew a baby. So in April of 2019, so anyway, I joined them in September of 18. I got my license in January of 19 because they were going out of the country, so I had to. And then in April, had my baby. In May, Labor Day, Memorial Weekend, I did my first open house, off of which I got my first buyer seller, and did not close them until August, and that was my first closing. So basically I was in the business for almost a full year before I had my first closing. That following year, from August to August, I did 18 transactions on that team, and I was with them for about 2.5 years before I decided that I wanted to go out on my own. So in November of 2020,
It's all a blur for
I
most
know.
of us, those
So
years of
blur.
19 to 21.
Yeah, exactly. I went out on my own, and I was on my own for a little over a year before I joined a partner, Maria Galvano. She'll be teaching next week, so if you don't know her already, you'll get to meet her. And exactly a year ago, we hired an administrative assistant, so now we're a team of 3.
Yeah, so Amy has been around. She's been in the market that we came from, survived the market that we came out of, where it was more speed set than skill set, and is back at it, killing it. And we thought no better person to get you started than Amy. Amy also holds a very close place in my heart as a CLC member. So as many of you know, I am the productivity coach here at the Market Center, and Amy is one of my co-coaches. So it's a coaching leadership council. So she has a passion for teaching and pouring into others just like I do. So how we show her our appreciation for taking time out of her busy schedule for this entire week to really get you guys going is we're engaged. We listen, we ask questions. All right, fair?
Yes.
I'm gonna hand it over to you, Amy. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I just want to say that this is my first time teaching someone else's material. I have had the opportunity to teach several classes for coaching, but I wrote the content, so it was a lot easier for me to regurgitate because I had it internalized, and this information that's not necessarily the case. So bear with me, especially today. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit rocky. Hopefully the days that follow will be better. So this is our first session today, is Spark Your Career. So it's all about how to get started in your real estate journey. Okay, so this will be our calendar over the next month. I will be with you today through Friday. Today, we will actually have, okay, so this is a little bit skewed. So we're technically, it's Tuesday, we're on Monday. We're gonna have 3 hours of facilitated learning. So today is gonna be really just kind of lecture and engaged conversation, but we're not gonna have our activities today. Tomorrow, and the rest of the week, we'll do 2 hours of learning and 2 hours of success systems. So that's our activities, lead generation, that sort of thing. Tomorrow will be a little bit different because someone needs to use a training room at 3 o'clock. So we'll be here from like 12, well, we'll be here from 12 to 2, and then we just have to leave by 3. Okay, we could do an hour of activities. Okay, sorry, I was off there a little bit. So we'll stay down here the whole time, but instead of staying for 4 hours tomorrow, we'll just stay for 3, and then Thursday and Friday we'll be here for 4. And then that will continue throughout. Everybody's a little bit different. So some people will teach faster, some will teach slower. That means your activity time may be a little bit more, a little bit less, just depending on how they run their system. Okay, so these are the things that you're going to cover over the next few weeks. Becoming the real estate expert of choice. That's what we're going to be looking at this week. Lead generation, lead follow-up, and then finally, we're going to get ourselves into the actual transaction. We're also going to be creating a robust value proposition for your business. So that's the way that you will explain to your future clients and customers the value that you're bringing to the table that may be different from other real estate agents. So part of your value proposition is going to look just like everybody else because we're all doing a lot of the same things for them. You're going to be looking for ways that you can stand out. So what can I add to my value that's going to be a little bit different from somebody else? So for example, I offer home staging. That's something that not everybody else offers or does themselves. So if they want to have that as their value proposition, they may have to hire someone, whereas I have built that into my repertoire. So that's just one example. We're also going to be developing a lead generation system with a lead generation model that comes from the best-selling book by co-founder of Keller Williams, Gary Keller, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Does everybody have the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book? Has everybody gotten a copy of that? Okay, great. It's often referred to also as the Red Book. We're going to establish a lead follow-up system based on the Keller Williams Touch plans. Which I assume someone's going to be leading some type of training on command to show you how to set those up. And we're going to practice and perfect the steps of the real estate transaction to get to a successful close so that you get paid. The goals are to end Ignite with 1 or more appointments. So that's our goal over the next 4 weeks, is to try to get 1 to 2 appointments. Some of you will get 1 to 2 appointments a week. Some of you, it will take the entire 4 weeks. It's really a matter of where you are in your real estate journey, because we have some brand new agents in the room and we have some established agents in the room who are here for a refresher because they want to supercharge their business. So just remember as we go through that everybody's setting their own goals and everybody's at a different place in their business. So you may have a full database of 500 people. You may have a database of 3 people, and that's what you're working on, is building your database. So we're all starting from somewhere different. Okay, so this week we will be focused on sparking your career, embracing your job, connecting with your market, and defining your value. Let's see, we're going to learn how to apply KW culture and your market center's culture into the way you engage and interact with others. We're going to tap into all the resources that Keller Williams offers, and we're going to create a vision for the future and set some goals. Today will be a little longer, 3 hours, and there will be no daily success systems. Ignite instills in all of us a new way of thinking. It's all about having a success mindset with no doubts. Today, we will talk about an unlimited mindset fueled by the 6 personal perspectives, KW culture, and the value of working with KW in your market center, KW resources, and this will set you up for success. Who is already familiar with the 6 personal perspectives? Okay, so this quote is from our fearless leader, Gary Keller. Anyone can do it, not everyone will you? Who would like to share their thoughts on this quote?
Well, anyone can do it. And the question is, will you? It takes, the process of the whole process is pretty basic, pretty simple. But there is a lot of work involved. And there is a lot of, I don't know if I call it rejection anymore, but there's a lot of, things that you run up against, obstacles.
Yes.
So yeah, you gotta just make a decision. Am I gonna do it or am I not?
That's right. And hopefully over the course of the next 4 weeks, that's what you'll decide. I'm gonna be all in and I'm gonna be a person that is looking to overcome those obstacles. So we do come up against what we perceive as rejection. And I think what we really have to remember is that there's nobody out there trying to reject us. It's how we perceive the things that they're doing and saying. So we have to learn how to overcome that so that we're not seeing it as rejection anymore. What we have to look at it is, it's not the right time for them. They're not in the right position. They don't have enough information. And how can we step into where they are instead of expecting them to step into where we are? So instead of expecting their timeline to come up and meet ours, how can we go and meet theirs? How can we fall into their journey? If they don't have enough information, how do we help them get more information? So if we can look for the ways that we can overcome the obstacles, we won't be afraid to say that we're all in.
And can I,
Absolutely.
my favorite thing about that is Brian Fisher and I talk about when we do our Facebook leads, he's like, Cassie, if you don't call them, I'm going to. So if I don't do it, someone else will. So I've got to grab it. I've got to grab it now.
That's right.
Good
And
point.
so Cassie, when you are calling those Facebook leads, tell us a little bit about that. What do you come up against and how do you overcome it?
So really it's a lot of objections. People are, they are just window shopping. They're dreaming. They, didn't mean to click on it. So it's very funny. And it's the same mentality of when you go to the store and you're looking for a new red shirt and someone asks you, do you need help? And you go, nope. But you do, because you don't know where the red shirts are. So it's the same mentality. And so it's just overcoming that objection and getting them out of that. I'm talking to a telemarketer. Now you want to talk to a human. And well, what caught your eye? How long have you been looking? Do you have a plan? And turning it into a someday real estate conversation. And someday to them is forever, is just 3 months. And so just really digging into that and getting that mindset going rather than just calling people who don't want to talk to me. Make them want to talk to you.
And if you think about, when you go into a store and you think you know what you're looking for, right? You're looking for the red shirt, but you don't know which red shirt, you don't know how much it costs, you don't know what the style is, you don't know how it fits. And someone comes along and you're just not quite ready for them to engage you yet. And that's why we say, oh, no, I'm fine. No, I don't need any help. But you don't have all the information. That's why you're there. You may not even plan to buy that shirt today. You just want to look for the shirt, find the shirt, see how much it costs, and maybe you're going to come back and buy it next week. It's the same thing. So it's our job as agents to engage them in a way that makes them feel safe, that helps them to be more informed, and doesn't make them feel the pressure that they're afraid that you're going to put on them. Because we're not really here, we're not salespeople, even though that's what our license says. We're here to guide them through the transaction, even if that transaction may be a year from now. Okay, so let's get into the 6 personal perspectives. Would you like to know the key to success and abundance? The 6 personal perspectives. The 6 personal perspectives are the way successful people who've come before us think and approach problems or challenges. It's about the mindset of success. These came about from Gary Keller researching successful people in all fields and asking the question, what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't? Who don't, from those who don't. From the answers, he discovered these common perspectives, and they work together, so they work synergistically, but they are best used in the order that is shown. Embracing and committing to all 6 personal perspectives will help you achieve success. So you're going to achieve some level of success from using one or some of these, but you're never going to reach the highest level of success until you're willing to engage all of them. So we'll start with commit to self-mastery. Self-mastery is the position of great knowledge, skills, and habits that make you the master of you. So self-mastery, I think a lot of us feel like when we come into real estate, we have to know everything there is about real estate before we're willing to take the first step out. I'm not going to do an open house until I know how to write a contract. That's our mentality, because we do want to be the expert and we don't want to harm our ability to get that client, and we don't want to harm the client. But really, we have to be willing to master ourselves more than real estate in order to get started. Because we're not going to get all the knowledge that we need until we get into those transactions. You have to do transaction after transaction after transaction before you really become a master of real estate and really become an expert, as we talked about, and we're going to talk about later today.
I don't think every transaction is so different. You learn from
Exactly.
every single one. I don't think you ever become a master.
I
you know.
agree. I mean, I did hair for 12 years and I still wouldn't say that I ever became, I might have said that I was an expert, but I would not say I was a master. I wouldn't say that I knew everything about how to do hair. I mean, I still went to classes. I still learned new techniques, new things came out. I mean, it's just like today, we had a new contract that we had to learn, right? So things are always changing. We're never going to master it, but we can work on mastering ourselves, which we probably also won't ever truly master either, because we will continue to change. So self-mastery is when you know your goals, you know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. So if I know that I have certain weaknesses around my habits, then I have to look for ways to put systems in place that keep me away from the bad habits and working more in the good habits. So I'm not great with consistency. I'll be honest, I am not great with consistency. So I have to put systems into place. I have to time block. I have to set little goals. Okay, today I need to talk to 5 people, because if I say I need to talk to 20 people, that's not going to happen for me because I just don't have that kind of consistency in my personality. So I have to set up little systems so that I can set myself up for success, because I know that that's a weakness of mine. Does anybody else want to share anything as far as self-mastery and as far as strengths or weaknesses that you feel like you're working with?
So I'm still kind of waiting to hear the results back, but they have us take the KPA, and I haven't taken the DI disc. I haven't taken that yet. But I'm assuming that's going to give us some insight into those sorts of things too.
It does. And has everybody taken KPA and DISC here with Keller Williams? Has anybody not taken it?
I've been at the desk.
I haven't taken it with Keller Williams. I moved over from Remax after 15 years.
So you can still request to do it.
I've taken it in my life
Yeah.
quite a bit.
And it's so accurate. Isn't it crazy how accurate it really is? I mean, I learned so much about myself, things that I probably knew, but didn't understand how it affected how I worked with other people and how it affected the way that I needed to put systems in place, because it really helped to identify some of my strengths and weaknesses. And it's really not about, one of the things I love about the KPA especially is that it's not about whether or not you belong, it's about where you belong. So it's about putting the right people in the right seat on the bus. It's just making sure that we all know how to interact with each other. So if I'm having a conversation with another Keller Williams agent, maybe we've got a contract together. And I know, based on my KPA, how I work best with others. I can say to that person, hey, you know, where did you land on the KPA? Where did you land on the disc? This is how I interact best. This is how I learn best. This is how I love to be talked to. These are the expectations that I have from someone, and they can share that with me as well. And then we can work through that transaction in a much easier way, because now I know the best way to talk to them. I know their expectations. I know their personality type. And then two, if you decide to join a team, then that's, you know, how are you going to work with those people on a day-to-day basis? Or when you're hiring someone, you know, when we hired our administrative assistant, she has a very different personality type than Maria and I have. Maria and I are high eyes. We're flying all over the place. We'll talk to anybody. And Bria's like, I just want to stay right here. Please don't talk to me. I just want to check things off my list. And we had to learn that about her, because otherwise we would have had very different expectations of her and it probably wouldn't have worked, because she would have been like, I've got to get out of here.
What's the PA stand for?
Keller, I think it's just Keller Williams Personality Assessment.
Personality assessment.
Yeah, and Nicole or Rachel can send it to you. Maybe even the front desk.
Justin Long had said something on Zoom.
Oh, gosh.
I'm logging in and I'm gonna keep track of it
Tell
for
me.
you.
Is it
Just
very
tell me what
similar?
people say.
I
Are the
will.
two very similar?
So the KPA will also, what it does is it also breaks down job fits for within Keller Williams.
Okay.
So you're a high fit for this job, you're a medium fit for this job, you're a low fit for this job. I was a low fit for single agent, even though I was a single agent and felt like I was doing a good job at it. But really, I'm a low fit for single agent because I love camaraderie. So I really wanted to be part of a team, but I wanted the freedom of single agent. So I had to create a team for myself that gave you both. And it's one of the things that it teaches you is where do I really belong and what should I be doing?
Mhm.
So the disc is kind of like just general
Mhm.
personality, and then KPA comes in and kind of shows you where you fit within
Yeah.
Keller Williams.
Makes sense.
Okay, so number two is commit to the 80-20 principle. I'm sure you've all heard of the 80-20 principle. 80% of our results, 80% of our results come from, hold on, let me say it the right way. Let me just read. The idea that 20% of our actions lead to 80% of our results may be the most powerful principle that you will apply to your life. So we're looking for our big rocks. And I know Cassie has these things memorized. So as an agent, Cassie, what's our top 5 things that we're supposed to do?
We are supposed to lead generate, lead follow-up, negotiate contracts. Sorry. Oh my
Set
gosh.
appointments.
Negotiate contracts, script practice, and go on appointments, yeah.
Yeah. So that's our top 5 things that we should be doing. That's our 20%. We want to spend our time on that 20%. So that's why, you know, in the beginning, you're focused on lead generation, lead generation, lead generation. Now I've got these people in my database. I need to be setting up systems to follow up with them. Now I need to see if I can get to appointments. Now I want to get them under contract, and the best way to do all of that is through script practice. I think we're supposed to say conversation.
Sorry.
So that's our job description, and that's what we should really be focused on. There's a lot of other little things that can get in the way of that. So working.
You're messing it up.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the sound. I don't know where it is.
So some of the things that can get in our way might be the things that are associated with the transaction, right? So I want to host an open house, and I want it to be the most perfect open house ever that was. I'm going to get all the signs. I'm going to get balloons. I'm going to figure out what food to put out. I'm going to get a lender to join me. Is any of that in our 20%? No. The only thing that's in our 20% showing up at that open house and engaging potential clients in a conversation. That's lead generation. All of that other stuff is fluff. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it's not our 20%. So we should be focused first on our 20%, and then in our extra time, we're focused on the 80%. Our transaction coordination. So we're under contract. Now we got to send things to the lender and to the title company, and we've got to make sure that we schedule all the inspections. And that's really important because we are guiding our clients through a transaction, and we're the ones who know the laws and the rules associated with the transaction. And so we want to serve them in the best way possible. It's still not our 20%. Our 20% is what gets us the client so that we can take them through the transaction. And that's why ultimately, as you're building your business, you want to get to a place where you're going to engage leverage. So you're going to see if you can hire Onward to handle your transaction coordination. And then at some point you may get busy enough that you're going to hire someone onto your team to handle your transaction coordination. Your marketing, doing all of your social media marketing, making flyers for your open house. That's not your 20%. It's part of the fluff. It's part of what so your marketing, like you're just going to put a post out there. That's kind of part of your fluff. If someone engaged that marketing, now you're into lead generation, lead follow-up. Now you're in your 20%. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, moving from E to P. So this is one that I'm kind of passionate about because it took me a really long time to truly understand the difference of being entrepreneurial and purposeful. A lot of us became real estate agents because we wanted our time flexibility, right? We wanted our freedom. We want to have control over how much money we're making, how we're making it, and how much time we're spending on it, right? Can we all pretty much agree to that?
Yes.
And that's what makes us an entrepreneur, right? That's what makes us going into business for ourselves makes us an entrepreneur. And a lot of us do that because we're creative. We have creative minds. We want to create the life and the business. And that's what Keller Williams wants for us, right? Life by design. But being an entrepreneur will often lead us to follow every rabbit trail. So I go to a training, I hear about this new thing that somebody's doing it. They're doing it at a high level. And I want to do that. I'm going to follow that rabbit trail. And then the next week I go to another training and I hear this other great idea. Oh, I didn't quite finish this one. I haven't mastered it for sure, but I'm going to go follow this one too. I want to do both. And when we're in that entrepreneurial mindset, we're kind of in that creative brain and we want to follow all the rabbit trails and see which one will work. When you move to being purposeful, you find the 1, 2, 3 things that really work best for you and your business, and you get really, really purposeful about that, and you create systems around it. So instead of saying, I'm going to try these 10 to 15 different things, and I'm just going to do each of them a little bit, and none of them are ever successful, and then I get frustrated, and I wonder why my business isn't working. As opposed to saying, I'm going to choose this one thing, and I'm going to do this till I master it. And I've got a system around it, and I'm doing it every day. And I'm doing it at a high level. I'm going to add number 2. And I'm not going to add all these things until I've mastered one of them. And that's when you really become purposeful. I have a very creative brain. I've always done things for careers that were around creativity until I got into real estate. And I wanted to take my old way of doing things and apply it to this new thing. And it really didn't work. I had a large sphere of influence. So I was still able to get clients and I was still able to get transactions and closings and make a living. But I found myself in a place where, because I didn't have systems around it, it was really hard on my family life because everything just happened when it happened. There was no calendar of events. There was no, this is the order in which I'm going to do things. This is when I'm going to be on and this is when I'm going to be off. And so it really caused me to suffer in both areas, really, because there were no systems around anything. There was no purpose. And so I have had to, once that finally clicked, and it was like last year. So 4 out of the 5 years that I've been doing this, I was very, I don't know, just willy-nilly, haphazard. Yeah. Take what comes and figure it out as I go and figure my calendar out, my schedule out as I go. And I had to really learn to be purposeful over this past year. And that's something that I still haven't mastered. And my goal for 2024 is to really implement the systems that will allow me to have the life by design, which means having that time with my family and my kids where I can turn off when I need to, and where I can be really purposeful at work when it's time to be working. Has anybody else experienced anything like that?
Yeah, just picking out the 1 to 3 things is, has been fun for me. I figured them out, but like I said, I was chasing every rabbit trail there was for a while.
Do you want to share any of them?
You know, my situation where I'm at, I'm really great on the phone, and so the phone is one of my favorites to reach out to people. One that I'm wanting to get better at is social media, Facebook, working Facebook, and some of the other social medias. And then also, I do a lot of mailers, direct mail, and I follow up with those. But those are my favorites.
Yeah.
And so it feels good to me to do that. And
Yeah.
I know some people, you know, they dread lead generation, or I don't want to pick up the phone, but you wouldn't believe, and I don't want to be negative, but you wouldn't believe how many ugly phone calls I've had.
Yeah.
But still, I like the phone, and it's one of my systems, so
Yeah.
I guess, did that help?
And that's a perfect example, because we're not all going to follow the same 3 things, right? We're not all gonna choose the same way of doing business. We're not all gonna choose the same way of lead generating. So for me, I have a very large sphere, and that's what I focus on, is nurturing that sphere, both through personal interaction, so phone calls, handwritten cards, small gifts, coffee dates, events. I nurture that sphere that I've spent a lifetime building. And then through social media, I try to stay engaged with them as well. And that's really my 2 things. I have door hangers that have sat in my office for 4 months.
They have your name on it?
Of course they do.
Well,
Are they on
say
any
they have your name
houses?
on it.
No.
I was gonna say, if it didn't have your name on it, I might buy it.
They have, yeah, they have my picture, they have my name on it,
Ah,
they have all the stuff.
Forget it then.
But I hesitate because it's not my thing to go out and hang door hangers and then have to call those people on the telephone that I don't know. So for me, that's an obstacle, right, that I need to learn how to overcome. Or maybe I don't, because maybe I'm over here mastering these things, and if this can build me the business that I want, then maybe I don't need those door hangers. But some other people love to make the phone calls. What were you gonna say, Jeff?
Oh, I was just gonna interject that there's only so many hours in the day. And so you have to know what you're good at,
Right,
and you have to know where you're gonna be purposeful and where you're gonna spend your time.
exactly.
Because there's plenty of ideas. But if you try to do a little bit of each idea, you won't get much done.
Right.
You'll just be frustrated.
Mhm.
Because some of those things you'll enjoy, some of those things you won't enjoy. But none of them will be productive
Right,
because you're only putting a little bit of effort into each one.
right. So, and you'll never master them.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to the same concept as our 80-20. Where should we be putting our focus? So not only do we know our 5 areas to put our focus. Now, within those 5 areas, how do we best do those things? So I don't have to do things exactly the way that Ann's gonna do things, and I don't have to do things the way that Liliana's gonna do things, and I don't have to do things the way that Mary's gonna do things. We could all be extremely successful and have really great real estate businesses that look very, very different. something else that you said that I wanted to touch on. Oh, I had read once, I'll try to remember the name of the book, but she talked about the list of things she didn't do. So she created an entire list of, these are the things I do, and these are the things I don't do. So that when people came to her and said, hey, will you join this committee? Hey, will you sign up for this? Will you bring bread for this? She would look at her, these are the things I do, and these are the things I don't do. And she could, Cassie, what was that? When your vision is clear, your decisions are easy? Is that the statement we learned
Yeah.
recently? So she had her, it was clear. She knew what she did and she knew what she didn't do. She knew what was important to her. So her decisions became easy. When people asked her to do something, she could just look at her list and say, oh, that's on my no list.
I like that very well.
Yeah.
That's good.
There was a post in Instagram this morning, what it says, a list of successful people do, and one of them was learn to say no,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's so hard sometimes.
definitely
And-
is.
Yeah.
I struggle with saying no big time.
That's because you're an I.
Be truthful.
That's so true. It is because I'm an I want to do all the things with all the people all the time.
Yeah, I'd like to share just real quick,
Yeah.
the fact that, you know, yes, real estate's gonna have those pieces that are like, golly, really. But anyway, I've been doing this for a while. And this is a very fun job, so to say, career. But the trick is to find out what you like to do, like we were talking about. And like I said, not everything works. Yes, have you ever heard of, there's a book out called The 6 Working Geniuses. And what it is about is this person hated Monday mornings because he was having to go back to work. And he got to thinking about it. And the reason he was hating it is because there was parts of his job. He was actually an owner of an advertising company. But anyway, there was parts of his job that he didn't like that he had to do, and it made it bad. And so what he did is he simply focused on what he liked to do, which was creating the ideas and creating the advertisements. And he hired other people in to do the things that he wasn't so groovy at. That's what we've been talking about. But if you got time to read it, it's The 6 Working Geniuses. I can't remember who it's by, but just look that up. It's a good book.
I had heard once that that's basically how Oprah functioned, is that she was kind of this visionary and she had certain things she was good at and she would only do those things. And she hired someone to do all the other things. Now, of course, in the beginning of our real estate career, we can't necessarily hire people to do all the things that we don't want to do. But there are other ways to leverage over time. So, you know, there's all kinds of things that they offer at the market center that if we don't want to do it, we can pay someone else. Or we can suck it up for a little while, do the things until we do get to a place where we can pay to have someone else do it. But we have to put those systems into place early on. And trust me, do it early on so that you're not frustrated. Because you'll be so much more successful, so much more quickly if you do. You know, I think about the number of transactions that I've done per year when I was entrepreneurial. How much more could I have done if I had been purposeful? How much more can I do in 2024 if I'm purposeful? And so yeah, just make sure that you're putting those systems into place now. And that's why you're here in Ignite, is to learn. And then also take advantage of the agents that are in the room who aren't new and who are here for a refresher, and ask them, you know, what systems do they have in place? And what things do they enjoy? What do they not enjoy? See what matches. And if they have a match of things that you both enjoy, ask them how they implement that into their business.
So do you think that's, and I'll get off of it, but do you think that's gonna be the trick that breaks you through the ceiling from E to P, is just figuring out what you like?
I think so. I think figuring out what you like and putting systems around it.
When you
And
like
what
it,
you
you're gonna
would
be good at it. Like you like the phone, I
Mhm.
hate the phone, but I love talking to people. I'd rather go door knock and just talk. And I'm good and bad because I talk so much, it takes me so long to learn. So.
But they're usually successful.
Right,
I
I
have,
mean,
yeah, I've done door knocking for an open house and only made it to the third house.
I know it's horrible.
And talked and talked and talked and
Uh-huh.
talked, and then 3 months later, sold their house. So it was worth that 30-minute talk and not getting to the others. I mean, it's always, I just need one.
Yeah,
Every time I go out, I just need one.
cool.
Mhm.
Every open house, I just need one. That's all I need.
So our sixth personal perspective is be learning based. So, I mean, basically, we're already here. So we know that everybody in this room is learning based. And it's a big part of the Keller Williams culture.
Mhm.
We will have so many classes and so many opportunities. And I encourage you to take advantage of as many as you can. Some of them do have costs associated with them, so I know especially in the first year, that can be tough. Do as much as you can, because the education with Keller Williams is beyond anything you've experienced before. I have always been huge into continuing education in every career I've been in, and I have never experienced education and training like is offered here. So the fact that you're in this room, I already know that you're learning based. Continue to keep that mindset and do as many of the trainings as you can. Now, there's a caveat to that. We can also get ourselves into a position where all we do is go to training and we never get out and do the activity. So make sure that you're balancing that. Don't get caught up in, well, I've got to go to this training, so I can't go door knock, or I've got to go. Remember your 80-20, remember your 20%. Your learning is honestly in your 80%, but do as much of it as you can in the time that you allot to your 80% so that you can, it's the word I'm looking for. I'm gonna say bolster, even that's not the one I want, but you can bolster your 20%. I am neither especially clever nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious. That's from Albert Einstein. So that he was obviously a very learning-based person. Remove your limiting beliefs. Who here knows what a limiting belief is?
Will do. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Something you believe about yourself that's not true, that restricts what you move forward in.
Exactly. Could have just wrote it in the dictionary, Richard. That's exactly it. Who here has a limiting belief about themselves?
I have 3,000.
I got you beat.
I think we all
I
do.
think we'll do.
And I think that sometimes we don't even realize that we have them until we get into our activities and we start telling ourselves stories about ourselves, about the other person, about the conversation, what I'm thinking, what they're thinking. And these are the things that hold us back. These are the obstacles that we have to overcome. We have to recognize that that other person's probably not thinking that. The thing I'm thinking about myself isn't true. The thing that I'm assuming about the transaction may not be accurate. And so we have to try to recognize what those limiting beliefs are that we have about ourselves and other people and turn them around. So I want to do a little activity real quick. I want everybody to write down 3 limiting beliefs that you have about yourself or about real estate. And then I want you to rewrite that sentence into an unlimiting belief. So turn it around into something that maybe could even become an affirmation. I don't know if anybody's following along in your guidebook, but apparently there's even an activity in the guidebook. I just made it up, but it's in there. Reframe your limiting beliefs. So if you need help, you could reference that. I guess I've taken this class enough times that maybe I did internalize it.
So I need an example of rewriting. Like I can give you the limiting beliefs, but I don't know what you mean by rewriting.
Give me one of them.
No one will want to hire me since I'm so new.
Because I'm a new agent, I have the ability to spend more time on each of my individual clients.
This is good.
I can give them the attention that they need and deserve.
Ah,
My very first listing, I was taking Ignite 5 years ago. And my neighbor, I was outside with a bunch of flowers, telling everybody that was new, that was my new career. My neighbors told me, he said, hey, my next door neighbor died. I'm like, really? So I went in and got in the internet and found that her sons, and I called. And I told him, I'm a real estate agent. And he said, well, my brother's coming in tonight. Can you come and see us? I said, sure. The very first question is, how many houses have you sold?
right?
But one thing that I learned in Ignite was that, and that's why I love Keller Williams so much, just be truthful, don't lie.
Mhm.
And say, I'm new. This is it will be my first listing, but you know what? I have 100% of your time
Mm,
in my hands to sell this house.
mm.
They signed the contract. About 3 years later, I send them both a thank you cards, telling them that they got me started in real estate. And I know they are clients for life. So, yeah,
That's great.
so.
But I think this is one that you definitely need to get the help of other people. I mean, I think we're gonna write these down. These are probably the surface ones. These are the easy ones. But I would guess that with all of us, there are limiting beliefs that are really deeply seated that we can't see. And we need
Right.
other people to help
Right.
us with that.
So one of the things that I will say, that's one of the reasons to go to the trainings, go to the classes that are around mindset, become involved with productivity coaching so that you have an objective third party who can help you see things in a different way. For example, my son's an athlete, he's a wrestler, and he's in a senior season, and he's having a hard season. This is supposed to kind of be like his showman season, right? He's supposed to really stand out this year, and he has struggled. And so I just so happen through my sphere to know someone who is a mindset coach for young athletes. So I introduced them and I said, Jackson, I think this is something that would be really beneficial for you. Immediate response is no. No. Because why? Because he has these deep-seated, limiting beliefs that he thinks even someone from the outside can't change his way of thinking, can't change his way of performing. So, and he also has deep-seated limiting beliefs around money, probably because of me. Because, mom's always like, well, how much does that cost? Well, what's the value of that? What do we need that for? You sure, So he doesn't want to spend my money on something that he doesn't know will be successful. So I talked to him about having that objective third party. Here I am 5 years in real estate and I still am part of productivity coaching. I still come every single week to group coaching, and every single week I meet with Shanna because I still have limiting beliefs about myself that I need to overcome to get to the next level. And then once I overcome that, I'll have something else I need to overcome. It's forever, right? We're doing these things forever. And so that's something that I had to try. You can't always talk your kids into things. I did talk him into it. He is doing it, but it's a perfect example. And you're right. A lot of the things that we see about ourselves, it's hard for us to reframe them because we believe them so deeply. So we have to have help from outside. So that's why I want you guys to write these down, and I want to hear some of them. So is anybody willing to share? Mary looks like she wants to. You want to share one? I promise you that whatever you read, someone else wrote it down too.
I know I'm really struggling on like the lead generation and like the contracts, like how will I ever like actually get this and like be like the person that my client needs? How will I get past and understand this stuff like I should?
So a way that you could reframe that is I will become the real estate expert that my clients deserve through continuing education, by leaning on my fellow agents and referring to my broker. Right? You don't have to know everything.
Yeah, I must say that this company, again, me, is the place to be because we're all competing against each other here, but in Keller Williams, you only see that everybody will help you. That contract that my first listing that I was telling you, I had no idea how to write a contract. And we were in another office and the tech room was across from the offices. I think I went every 5 minutes to ask a question. Okay, line 25, what is that? And 5 minutes later, okay, line 100, what is that? And people are patient. You just have to ask. Don't be afraid to ask because we all been there, all of us. And you will help somebody else because people were so nice to you to help you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can always tell yourself, if that idiot Brad can do it, I can do it for sure.
Well, and here's a couple of resources for you. So when you're not sure how to do something, there's productivity coaching. If you get involved with that, you can always go to Shanna or Tori. You can also get on our internal Facebook page and you can say, this is what I'm working on right now. I need help right now. Is who's available. People will comment and say, call me.
Okay.
And then Cassie, did Mike set this up this year where we still have like an agent on call for the
We
day?
haven't had it for a while. I think they need to bring it
Let me
back.
look into that and see if that's something that they're no longer implementing or if there's some new system around that. We used to have an agent on call. So like on that day, whoever was assigned to it, you could call them and they would be available to help. So I'll look into that. Jeff, you look like you wanted to say something.
So one that I hear a lot with experienced agents because of the market we've come out of and the shift that we've experienced is I won't be able to do as much real estate because of the market change, the high interest rates, inflation, et cetera. And to turn that around, because of the change in the market, I will have more opportunities to help more people navigate their housing needs.
Yeah, so it's so funny how even experienced agents have those limiting beliefs.
Oh, people
Because-
are jumping out of the market.
Yeah,
Right,
and,
wow.
and especially people who've already been through multiple markets.
Yeah.
So this is why I say like our limiting beliefs aren't gonna just disappear. We're gonna have some type of limiting belief forever. We'll overcome one and there'll be something new. So because we have this gift and this opportunity of training and mindset training here at Keller Williams, all of those agents who are leaving the industry because of their limiting beliefs, we're gonna be able to pick up everything that they dropped. All of their sphere of influence, all of their past clients, they're walking away from, which is now a new opportunity for the rest of us. David, do you want to share one of yours?
I can, yeah. I was gonna say, before I talk to someone here at Keller Williams, I went and talked to an agent at another agency. And the
How dare.
picture that they painted,
Was so bleak.
oh my goodness, it was so bad, I thought, there's no way it can be this bad, or else there'd be agents jumping off bridges, although, I mean, it was bad. So anyway, they shared all their negative beliefs with me. So I have one here, I don't know enough to do this, and the kicker is I'm gonna look silly or stupid. So I
Take
changed
it
that.
until you make it.
So I changed that around to, I can learn everything I need to know or find out, and people will respect me for being honest when I say I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know, but I will find out for you.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first career, when I first came out of college, I was a paralegal. So it's the paralegal's job to find out all the information for the attorney. You hire an attorney as an expert, right? You think they know every single thing inside their head. They don't. They don't know all the laws. They don't know all the timelines. They don't know all the deadlines. They don't know all the past cases. They have, well, we used to have books that we would look in. And now they have something called LexisNexis. They can look it all up online, just like we can look up everything online. Just like Jim showed us all the, the library of forms this morning and showed us the red line contracts. So we have resources to get that information. And just like the attorney had the paralegal, we have our other agents and we have people in our office who can help us find the information that we need. Yeah. Good job, guys. And I think there's probably going to be more of this throughout the next 4 weeks. Okay, and then be accountable. Well, the sixth and last personal perspective is about being accountable. What does being accountable mean to you? Anybody want to share?
I will. One, I'm quiet,
Me too.
Being accountable is, to me, is realizing that where you're at in life is because of the choices you made. And everybody always says, or not everybody always says, but you hear the saying says, well, there's a reason for this happening. Well, the reason might be because you made a stupid choice. But being accountable is accepting the fact that I am creating the world that I live in. And if it's not like I want it, I mean, it can't be perfect, I guess. Maybe it can. If it's not like I want it, then I need to make a change somewhere. So.
And only you can make that change,
Yeah.
right? Blah, 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 blah.
I would
Yeah.
interject with that. Learn how to fail forward,
Mhm.
because it isn't an issue of whether or not you're going to fail. So it's easy to get stuck in the depression that comes from having made the mistakes I've made. We can fall into depression because we've created our reality, right? And that's what we've been told. But those mistakes were actually springboards
Learning experience.
to something more successful.
Mhm.
If we learn how to fail forward with that kind of mindset, because failing is inevitable. You're gonna fail in everything you try until you become proficient at it.
Right.
It's whether or not you'll quit
Mhm.
and whether or not you'll fall into that depressed state and just go off and do something different.
Right. And I think, again, we talked about, following all the rabbit trails. When you're following all these rabbit trails and you're trying all these different things and you're just seeing what works, but none of them work because you didn't give enough time or energy to one of them.
Yeah.
When you're in that mindset, you're more likely to fail and not pick up and try again.
Right.
But when you focus on one or two things to become really, really good at, and you put the systems around it, then when you fail, okay, well, I just need to tweak something. I need to change something. What do I need to change in my system? What do I need to change in the way that I'm doing things? What knowledge am I missing? And you can add to those things so that you can fail forward and try it again.
Yeah, that's good.
And without being
Yeah,
depressed about it.
That's good.
Real quick. I'm not sure I understand. Happiness is not an individual sport.
Where are you? Are you on the
1-9,
next
page
one?
1-9. Did I go too far?
Yes,
Oh, sorry.
hold that thought.
Where are we at?
So we're on being accountable. Go back one. You see a little graph that looks like this? in your
Page
book?
one.
Yeah, it's right down
or
there.
It's on the same page,
Okay.
but we're not
Anyway,
there.
okay, sorry.
Okay, so we're gonna do this and then we'll
I
go.
was-
Okay. So when you are an accountable person seeks reality, they want to know the facts.
Yeah.
So they're not trying to hide from themselves the reality of how they got into a situation, right? They're looking at, or like, think about, this is the best example, because I think we've all done it. I don't want to know what's in my bank account right now. I'm not going to look at my bank account because I don't want to know. I know I paid these bills. I want to buy this. I don't know. I think I'll just buy it because I don't wanna know, right? Everybody's kind of like hides their bank account sometimes. Maybe not everybody, but, so that's not seeking reality. But a person who is accountable seeks reality because they wanna have all of the facts, because unless you have the facts, you don't know what needs to be changed. You don't know what you need to do different. You don't know what needs to be better. You don't know what you need to add. Richard, do you want to share anything?
Oh, I was just thinking, had a thought on accountable. I think the other night when, what team was it? The Green Bay Packers? All of those players were accountable to one particular coach, depending on their position. And so when I look at that quote, it makes sense to me that happiness is not an individual thing, because they were definitely happy when they beat the Cowboys. Sorry if anybody's a Cowboys fan. I think that illustrates what it means as far as a group happiness as opposed to an individual happiness. So I don't know if that helps, Shannon.
It did. That was good. I like that.
So an accountable person also acknowledges that reality. So they seek it out, they're looking for awareness. And the reason they're seeking it is so that they can acknowledge it and gain more clarity. Whereas a person who is not accountable fights that reality. So I'm sure we've all experienced people who like to live in denial. I'll just say okay. A person who is accountable owns it. So just like, I'm sorry, tell me your name again.
Me,
Yeah,
Brad.
Brad. Oh, I can't see it. Okay, Brad. Brad said that, you know, I have to, in order to be accountable, I have to acknowledge that where I am is because of the decisions that I made. So I own it. You know, I would imagine that there are people who would seek reality, get clarity around it, and still want to say, yeah, but it wasn't my fault. So you really have to follow all of these in order to be truly accountable. Because the other side of that coin is to project or to blame it on someone else. An accountable person finds solutions as opposed to excuses. So the reason I can't do this is, I can't do this because so-and-so's doing that. I can't do this because I can't get the information that I need. I can't do this because I don't have time in my schedule. Well, if I don't have time in my schedule, one, I have to make sure it's something I should really be doing. Is there something else I'm doing that I shouldn't be that's taking up my time? And can I time block around it to protect that time so that I can be doing it? And an accountable person gets on with it. So they create an action plan as opposed to allowing, going into resignation, hoping and waiting and just taking what comes to them. So it's like being proactive versus reactive. You know, if you're accountable, you're going to be proactive in the things that you do as opposed to reactive. Because reactive allows you to sit back and say, well, I'll only take what comes to me. And if what comes to me, if I don't like it, well, that's somebody else's fault. It's out of my control. I don't, you know, that's probably an easier, in a lot of people's minds, that's easier, right? To just sit back and wait and blame it on other people or on circumstances. It's harder to be accountable. But if you get into a habit of being accountable, your life will get easier, right? I swear there was another
Boils
slide.
down that we are all humans and we all make mistakes, and instead of making excuses for them, learn from them and say, it was my mistake, it won't happen again, I learned.
It might happen again, and that'll be okay too.
Yeah, I didn't learn,
Yeah.
or I forgot.
I learned something I needed to know about it, but I didn't learn all of it yet. Okay, so read the quote on the slide. This quote is about happiness and it applies to business as well. Do you agree? Happiness is not an individual sport. Your business success is not an individual sport. No one succeeds alone. This quote comes from Sean Anker, who pioneered the research that revealed happy humans are more productive, creative, better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed. Would you agree that these outcomes lead to better success in business? Embrace being accountable. Find a mentor, a coach, or a partner to help you be accountable and happy. So I don't know if anybody has read his book. I think is it called Happy or Happiness? Can't remember. Happiness Advantage, that's right. So the point of his book, to boil it down to one sentence, is we all think that finding success will lead us to be happy, but being happy will actually lead us to success. So we have to choose happiness first. We have to choose gratitude, maybe even put a system into place around acknowledging the things that we're grateful for so that we can be more happy. We'll interact better with other people, we'll be more productive, and we'll love what we're doing, which will lead us to success.
And you have to be intentional about it.
Yes, you do. Very intentional, because I have attempted a gratitude journal about 800 times.
I must say that the most successful agents here in Keller Williams, I'm talking worldwide, most of them have coaches. And you asking, why do you have a coach if you're successful, like Adam Grady?
Mhm.
He has a coach. Does he need one? He probably tells you, yeah, because makes him accountable,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah.
And whatever level you're trying to reach. So you have one coach to get you to one level. And then when you're ready to get to the next level, you might need a different coach and so on and so on.
Mhm.
Because there's always, again, going to be something else to overcome.
Yeah.
Any ahas from what we've covered so far?
I think we need to go aha on the individual sport. I mean, even if you're an individual agent, you still have people involved in the transaction that you work with, and the end results is that everybody is happy. And,
Right.
okay, so I appreciate what the man in front of me said about the team, the football team. I don't know your name.
Hey,
That's really
everybody
good.
write your name on both sides. So the people behind you too can see your name.
Anyway, so I appreciate
And
that.
that goes on to whenever you have a doing a transaction, you either the seller agent or the buyer's agent, you're working with another agent to buy a house or sell a house. So you're never alone.
Yeah, excited, but that was an aha. I didn't really look at it like that.
Yeah. Well, so at some point, I think today, we're gonna cover some of the,
You know my name.
some of the slogans, I guess we'll say, of Keller Williams, and one of them is win-win or no deal. And so at the end of the transaction, I'm not seeking just to make sure my client's happy or that I'm happy. And I am very clear with my clients from the very beginning that at the end of this transaction, both parties will get what they need, or some portion of it. You know, we all have to give up a little to get ourselves to the end of the transaction. I might have to give up something, the other agent might have to give up something, the buyer, the seller, but in the end, we all want to be satisfied with and having got what we needed out of the transaction. And I think that is true. So what you're saying is it's not just you and it's not just your client. It's the other agent, it's the other client, it's the lender, it's the closing company, it's the inspector, it's the contractors that we have to bring in for repairs. We want to make sure that everybody is getting what they need and what they deserve, and that we're all ending up happy and satisfied at the end of the transaction.
Cool. Happy.
Okay, do we want to take a 5-minute break?
Yes, sure.
Drinks, bathrooms. Come back around 1:15-ish.
Couldn't eat bread. I mean, my name's Brad, obviously. Oh, no, not a stop.
How both?
They're Tri-Lake Realty. It's just Tri-Lake
Yeah.
Realty. And it's an individual. It's a prior to. When I bought it, I merged it with Keller Williams. So, Truman. Yeah. Exactly. I live on Palmdale.
Okay.
The office is right there by the, not by, but right there near the Stockton State Marina. State Park.
Jeff already. My phone tag. Is one of the best.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Right now it's kind of low, but everything's low right now, I think, as far as water depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was licensed in 2003, so I've been doing it a while too.
I was in from 96 to 2000. 2000. My two kids, whatever it was called.
That'll be 2000. but yeah.
Marcus,
Yeah.
I was just in a meeting, so.
We had to transition out into something else, so
Mhm.
I'm glad to get back in it.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
A weird fun. And it's better to reach out to the people
Have not found the disk.
instead of just
Shanna
assuming.
says it's in the folder I got access to on Drive when I onboarded.
Also, I did the disc and I didn't
Where did you
see.
find the disk?
I don't know, it was on email. It was on a separate, I had a separate email about the
I
disc.
had an email about the KPA.
So I didn't get an email about KPA, not that I remember.
Interesting. So where did you find, did the email send you to where the disk is?
Yeah, just sent me,
On the
it was
drive?
just, no, it's just a link to,
You sure that wasn't the KPA? Because that's the way mine was.
there was something about the disc.
There's still coffee upstairs,
Should
upstairs.
be at the front desk. I don't know if there'll
So-
be any in the hallway.
Yeah, that's the KPA.
Okay, so I did the KPA.
So me too.
Do you have
have
coffee?
access
I'll take
to
Somewhere there, I saw
Keller
that,
Williams Google Drive?
somewhere I did.
I'm
see
still
that.
amped from this morning's
I
coffee.
am not.
I already had two, and that's way more than I ever have, so
I know, I usually have one, and when I have two, I'm like,
that's me.
I thought I'll have two so that I'll be really on,
The
but then
copy.
sometimes that backfires, because then you're like,
Yeah. So you know and coaching stuff was on Zoom.
Monday morning coaching was that?
With Shannon, productive and coaching.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I didn't know she did that.
Yeah.
That's every Monday?
I believe so,
What
yeah,
time?
in the morning.
All right, there you
Okay,
go.
I'll check
So,
with
yeah,
her.
if you go to your Google Drive and there's a search thing, you just put
Or
the
you,
disc.
it's
You
all
do it
online.
as a- Yeah, so what I'm reading.
Shanna coaching? What is it?
Productivity coaching.
My drive,
Caspian Group presents.
So the reason I'm telling you is because if you can't make every one of these because of weather, children or whatever,
Uh-huh,
you can always do it on Zoom.
okay.
And I'll get you, have I sent you a calendar of events for January?
No, I wanted to get one of those today while I was here.
Okay, They're upstairs. I'll get you one, before you leave. But down in the corner, the left-hand corner, it shows, the Zoom access, how to access it. You're familiar with Zoom, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I got on last night to try to
There's
do
all the
that.
stuff that, when I typed in
It's on
disc, all the
Tuesdays
stuff
from
that
6
comes
to
up.
7, there's
Okay.
a meeting,
So,
but
I think it's called K-Score or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So where's it,
But
where's it being
because
stored?
of the holiday, it
Go
wasn't
to-
there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that would irritate me.
I don't know where I've seen that, but I've seen it somewhere.
Mhm. Yeah. So what does your schedule look like, to go over that KPA? I know tomorrow I'm gonna be showing how.
Oh, but those are.
See this,
that's a PowerPoint, there's a folder,
Friday.
looks like, it's got two
Okay.
PDFs in it.
Will you be here Friday, you think? I don't know if the weather's gonna be.
I just wanna see the folder. I wanna know how to
That's
get.
good. Look at the weather.
Once they got coffee cups, but no coffee.
Can you get rid of this?
Huh?
It's actually Dryas.
They probably got some water, don't they?
But can you get rid of that?
Maybe,
Yeah.
sometimes there's stuff in there, sometimes you have, there's waters in the front desk.
Personal items, I think.
Yeah.
Coffee
Everybody's
upstairs.
high.
There should be coffee upstairs in the lobby,
So
and
now-
there also is a little fridge with little bottles of water.
I was thinking more
But
school
feel
cans.
free to
on the
take
way.
You got time to go up and get
Yeah,
some.
go ahead.
Okay,
I'm really confused. Maybe I
let's
need to-
shoot for Friday, and, but then if need be, we can move it out.
You.
You know, I mean, it's not gonna be like
Find the folders and stuff.
something that if we don't get it done this
Has
week.
anybody
that we're gonna
said
So
anything?
that's what it is.
Miss out on everything.
Right.
I have my-
I haven't seen anything, nothing else has popped up.
We'll set it up.
For some reason, your drive is only showing you disk stuff now, and I wanted to show everything that they shared with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, let's see.
10:30 on Friday, or 10:30 on Friday.
I don't know how to get back to.
Did you say tomorrow, this goes 3 hours? 4 hours.
Oh, no, she said tomorrow there was a thing, 3, yeah. Because there's a class in here at 3 o'clock, she said.
So when everybody gets back, we're gonna move into learning more about Keller Williams itself. We're gonna learn about the culture, the vision, the resources. But before we do that, I'm gonna have everybody go around and introduce themselves. We're going to be together for quite some time, and then forever, hopefully, after that.
I'm gonna learn to talk in front of people. It's like.
Yes.
I'm not good at that. I was gonna clam up. So as if that was.
Are you more of a one-to-one talker versus a group talker?
I just kind of clam up and just can't even talk.
We'll get over it.
It's crazy though, because I've always been in sales and I talk to people very, I just,
Just not
but
that
not a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. That is a limiting belief. How will you reframe that?
I am going to learn to probably talk in front of a lot of people if they're here, right?
Yes, yes, you are. I am learning every day. Every day I'm becoming more and more comfortable learning to speak in front of other people. That's your affirmation now.
Every day.
We're just missing 2. Hey guys, on those of you who are on video, can you hear me? Just somebody put in the chat, yes. Okay, awesome. Can everybody who's in the chat go ahead and type in your full name, how long you've been in real estate, how long you've been at Keller Williams, and what you did before real estate. And then Cassie, I'm gonna ask you to help me read some of those.
learn how to use this.
All right, so it's 1:20. Let's go ahead and get started. Jeff will catch up with us. Lillian, do you want to start? Let's do full name. How long you been in real estate? If you were somewhere before, how long have you been at Keller Williams? And what career did you have before real estate?
Okay, my name is Liliana Owen, and I've been in real estate for 5 years. Before that, my husband and I, since college, ordered, several businesses. Before this one, I had an antique store running for 8 years, and I sold it. And always knew that my limit was the sky, because it was my own limit. And with real estate, you can do whatever you want because it's your own business, it's your own limits. So that's what I did. Anyway.
Awesome, thank you. David, you want to share?
Yeah, David Parks, and my license came through on Thursday. And before sitting here, we were missionaries. So last 20 years, I've been in the country of Azerbaijan and England. I know lots of questions, but yeah, so what we did there is very similar to, there's so many crossovers for what I did before to this. It's pretty interesting how that's working, but anyway, I'm here.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Ann?
I'm Ann Carrico. I got my license in December. I homeschooled my kids for many, many years, stayed home to do that. And in the process, I started my own business, which was a website. And I wrote some books and I spoke at conferences about homeschooling high school specifically. I sold that last February because all my kids are out of the house now and I felt like I was not relevant anymore.
You are
And
very relevant.
I've been looking for something else to do and here I am.
Now, on the one hand, that might have been a limiting belief, but on the other hand, might have just been time for something else.
Yeah, my desire, my passion wasn't there anymore.
Right.
Cassie?
I am Cassandra Jones. You'll also hear me called Cassie, Cass, Harley's mom, Indiana's mom. I have a lot of dogs. On April 2nd, it'll be 3 years for me. Prior to that, I was a big box retail manager, like Old Navy, Academy Sports. I've done retail for 30 years and turned 50 and changed careers completely.
Mary?
I am Mary. I am halfway through my 48th, so I don't have my license yet. I have previously been the acquisition manager for a corporate newspaper company representing 14 different counties, which with the newspaper, I knew that is a dying industry and have felt that the Lord's been preparing me for real estate. Because I'm already known, trusted in 14 different counties. And so I was laid off in November from that. So it's time to start this journey.
You must have a huge sphere then.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Awesome.
Brad Middlemas. I wish I had an easy name like Parks. It's Middlemas, like Christmas, Middlemas. Anyway, I'm a river rat. Love to kayak, canoe, also a sailor. I just love the water. So that's that's kind of my reason why. The reason that I do real estate is because I like to get out and see things I haven't seen. But anyway, so I'm a river rat and I've been licensed since 2003. Been with various companies. Was with Keller Williams in Kansas City. And then I just recently purchased a brokerage in Stockton. And it was an individual individual unit, and since I purchased it, I've converted it, or not converted, but merged with Keller Williams again, because Keller Williams is, to me, is the absolute best as far as real estate companies go. What else? That's pretty much it, so there you go.
So how long did you say you've been in real estate?
2023, so wow, 21 years? Yeah, yucko, that's weird. Why am I still here?
You must love it.
I did. It's fun.
Still learning, great.
Yeah.
Richard Beal, 2 kids, 8 grandkids, and the 4th great-grandchild is on the way.
All right.
So, marketplace primarily, accounting, controller for a retail chain or grocery store. Transition from there into a church administrator for a church here in town. And has spent the last year now transitioning out of that into real estate. I did real estate 96 to 2000. And then left for the marketplace, another area of the marketplace, but coming back into real estate now. So
Awesome. Jeff?
what did I leave out? Did I leave anything out?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Lots of details.
Yeah.
I'm
So we-
sure
we can't
so
share it
much
all.
more will come out over the next 4
It's
weeks.
been a great journey. I'm under Coach Jeff's tutorage right now.
Jeff Doherty. I've got a beautiful wife of 34 years and 3 kids and 4 grandkids, all within the geographical region. So that's a huge blessing. We get to spend a lot of time together and been in real estate since 2009. Worked with Remax, which is a good company. I was with them for 14 and a half years, and I moved over to Keller Williams about 6 months ago because I think they're a better company. I like the culture. I went to a family reunion. Jason Massengale, who is the broker in Nixa, where I live and kind of work out of, even though I kind of cover a whole geographical Southwest Missouri area because of my sphere of influence over the years. But he's a great friend of mine. He introduced me to Keller Williams and invited me to go to the reunion last year. And I just really fell in love with the culture and the willingness to help each other, the camaraderie, the support. So I'm real happy to be here. I'm here as a refresher to kind of tweak my systems and to tweak my mindset. And because I do believe what I said, I believe that we are poised for opportunity in the shift of the market. We're poised to take more market, not only as individual agents, but as a brokerage. Because there are a lot of agents out there that are kind of freaking out. Things aren't as easy as they were the last 2 years, when you had all kinds of people jumping into the business because it was easy. They could even start part-time and the commissions were good and blah, blah, blah. Now they're all jumping back out and saying, this is just gonna be too hard. It's not gonna be good for me. And that gives us all opportunity as individual agents. Maybe in our sphere of influence, there's people that, and I've already had this happen, that I was kind of number 2 on their list when they were out there having conversations and somebody mentioned buying or selling a home or investing in a property. And now I'm number 1 because that other person has gotten out of the business. So we're going to have opportunities, so don't let anybody scare you about the shift in the business or the shrinkage of the inventory. You'll hear a lot about that. But I think that this spring is going to be really good. I think there's going to be plenty of listings to go around for those that are working their sphere of influence and doing their lead generation. And it's going to be a great business for you guys.
I think that before we read the people on the screen, I think that people who got into the business in the last couple of years when it was easy.
Yeah.
The thing that they didn't have to do was set up their systems.
Yeah.
They didn't have to lead generate. They really could, things did just come.
Right.
And that's why now they've left the business, because they never set up the proper foundation. So you guys are here now to set up your foundation. And if we do have a great market this spring, which I also believe that we will, this is the time now to set yourself up for success so that you can be ready when that market comes. But also so that when the market after that comes and we have to get back to doing all the activity because it's harder to get business, you won't be afraid to stay in the business because you'll have your systems and you'll have your foundation.
Yeah.
Cassie, do you want to alternate with me on some of these ones on the screen? So guys, see all those blue cards still sitting on the table over there?
Oh.
There's a lot more people signed up for Ignite than are in the room right now. So some people are on the screen. Some people, you know, maybe have another commitment during the class time. Some people still have other jobs. They'll watch the recordings. You'll see different faces in here every day, which will be awesome because you'll get to know more and more people. But Cassie and I are going to read some of what everybody shared on the screen. So Sarah Tina Harrow said she's been in real estate since 2016 and was a business analyst before that.
And she used to be the tech person.
And she needs to be here, but not to be lazy.
She lives across town is what she'll tell you, right, Sarah?
Oh, if I make it, she can make it.
It'd help if I wasn't on mute. Yes, I'm across town and I have a car with a dead battery this morning, so I'm stuck at home.
We'll forgive that. Evan Van Ostren started at KW and beginning his 4th year. Prior to that, he was in real estate, 12 years in the military. He's also in the coaching program as well as Sarah.
Hope Shields, she says, I've been doing real estate for 5 months, worked at Expedia fixing flight tickets. And I like to think that Hope had such an amazing transaction buying her home, selling a property that was very hard to sell, and then buying her home with her lovely agent that she decided to come to Keller Williams.
Melissa, hold on, I clicked the button wrong. Melissa Gaither has been with Keller Williams Realtor License since August 2023. She is with Field Compliance at State of Missouri since 2008 and still is. She is bivocational. Dual agent, as we would say.
And Rachel White says she has 20 plus years in banking, started real estate in 2020. So I was one of the ones that didn't have to lead gen, but now do. That's right, girl. And we're gonna get you all set up for success. Okay, so in this section, we're gonna talk about a new way of thinking, Keller Williams culture, KW value and your market center's value, Keller Williams resources, your career vision, your daily success system, and then we will share our ahas. Keller Williams is big on mindset. KW is also big on models and systems based on the proven success strategies of those who found success before us. Our job is to take advantage of this collective wisdom so we can be highly successful as well and make this our chosen career for life. Now let's see how KW culture will power you through your career. So these are some of the things that you can get involved in on a kind of like a, what's the word I'm thinking? You know, our culture is everywhere, right? It's everywhere in the building. It's in our Facebook group. It's when we're out in the community, but we also have things that are like actual set up programs that you can get involved in. So we're gonna go over our MVVBPs, but one of the biggest things that shows the culture of Keller Williams is our Red Day. So May, what is it, Cassie?
The second Thursday of May.
The second Thursday of May. We have a Red Day. And so we come together as a market center. We pick an organization that's local and we fundraise and we are actual boots on the ground on that day. So last year, Cassie was on the committee. Can you share a little bit about last year's Red Day?
Yeah, last year we chose Sleep in Heavenly Peace, which is a local organization. They have several chapters all over the country. And what they actually do is build beds for children that don't have beds. Mainly the foster system, in the foster care system, but really anybody any child that doesn't have a bed, they build a bed for. The Springfield one was relatively new. Marshfield is going strong, and Springfield was a newer chapter. And they had, when we contacted them, they had 93 kids waiting for a bed. And so our goal was to get those 93 kids into a bed. Each bed cost $250. And so we made it our goal to fund that. And we did. I think we raised $34,000
Yeah.
through we did a bowling tournament, we did a private or a silent auction and a live auction. We did sponsorships. I'm trying to think of what else we did.
Not only that,
And
build the
donations.
beds.
I'm sorry.
Build the
Oh, yeah,
beds.
that's right. And then, so that paid for all, well, so what we did is actually, I think it was $22,000 paid for all the beds. And then we bought another $10,000 of new saws, sanders, all the equipment that they could use, because what they had was way too old, was not going to last. And now they've got 10 years worth of equipment, so they can do this for 10 more years. So they can keep going. And then they come in and it is an assembly system. And so we had stations where people sanded the boards down so they wouldn't get splinters. And then we had drill press stations, and then we had slat stations and yeah, all these different stations, and I can't think of all of them now. And then there was actually a dip station where it's kind of, it's both stained as well as treated for like bed bugs and things like that, so nothing can get into it. It's a vinegar and stain wool treatment. And then they did a stamp, a branded it. And so everybody got to do all of those things. And it's a very, very like they have it down, like it's just boom, 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 boom. And like within 3 or 4 hours, you build 250 beds. And so, or not 250 beds, we built 93
Hundreds
beds.
of agents
Yes.
and people who are associated with Keller Williams. So there were insurance agents, there were lenders, there were title companies. Everybody came together and actually facilitated making these
Yeah.
beds.
But it's not only here, it's
All across the
Keller
country.
Williams. We closed that day and work in the community.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. The year before, we did the Dogwood Ranch, and the year before, was it Dogwood Ranch?
Yeah.
That was yours, yeah.
And then
The year
homeless-
before that was,
homeless people.
yes, it was the
We
connecting
bought 'em
grounds. We cleaned up their houses, we painted.
Well, we bought them a
washer dryer,
machines.
yeah.
Washer and dryers,
Yeah.
you know.
So every year it gets bigger. So every year we always challenge
That's what I
ourselves to
did.
raise more and more money. And that one was a really fun one because everybody could, and even the connecting ground ones, because you got to paint. You know, people were painting and sanding and doing yard work and tree work, and yeah, it's fun. It's amazing.
Well, and it's an opportunity to get to work with other agents that you haven't worked with before. So there was, I mean, the one that we did at Connecting Grounds, I worked with several ladies who I'd never had the opportunity to
Right.
even talk to, didn't know anything about them, didn't know what teams they were on. So it really is a way to bring us together more as a community as well. One of the things that happened, I think it was the first year that I was with Keller Williams, and this was not a Red Day activity, but it just goes to show what a community we have. Evan DeShong lost his home to a tornado. And the whole.
Evan
Keller-
John is a super agent here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he runs a team here, and the whole Keller Williams community came together, went to his home, helped him clean up, spent the whole day there. I mean, I think they spent multiple days there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the kind of culture that we have here at Keller Williams, where everybody's willing to help, not just with your transactions, but with your life and with your needs, so.
Do you know what the organization is this year that we're gonna be
We
helping?
don't, we actually meet next month.
Okay,
Oh, actually, maybe this month.
okay,
Probably need to be faster.
just curious.
Yeah. And
If
I will
you-
say
If you
too,
think of organization that needs help, tell one of the administration, and that's a way that we, you can help the organization.
Right.
Yeah.
And in culture, so we have a culture chair and the ALC, and then she's got committee. So if you want to be on that committee, if that speaks to you, then by all means, I'm on that committee, so let me know and I'll get you on it. But there's also the equity committee, which is Maria, her partner, and then there is the connection, like the training and connection, and then there's wealth building. All these committees you're invited to be a part of. So if there's something that really speaks to you, they want everybody to be a part of it. Because it just makes it better.
Yeah, so ALC, those are tell me what it stands for again, Agent Leadership Council.
Yes.
So when you walk in and you come out of the lobby and you go past the lobby, like you're gonna go into the executive offices, all those little faces that are on the wall, those are the committee members for this year. So you can reach out to them and you can say, hey, what committee are you heading up? And if you find something that you wanna get involved in, they will gladly take you. Because I will say, I don't think that, there's some committees that don't get as much activity or
Yeah.
participation as others. I mean, Red Day is something that
Yeah.
everybody knows about, but there's a lot of things you can get involved in and help out with.
I think sometimes too, it's a limiting belief with the committee chair, thinking they don't need anybody. But to get better, you've got to have more people to add more value. And so it is,
So this is just a list of some of the different things, but if you go to your KW Connect and go to KW Culture, there's all kinds of things that you can learn about and resources for getting involved. So our MVVBP, our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. I said slogan earlier, but it's our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. Our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. So this is where we talk about creating a life by design. You'll hear that probably every single day for the rest of your life, as long as you're with Keller Williams. We're here to create a life by design. And this is our mission statement that supports that. Ignite focuses on helping to build careers worth having. Of course, the intention is to build businesses worth owning as well. Many KW agents have built businesses worth owning and are living a great life they envision for themselves. Many KW agents have grown to the point where they are achieving fulfillment by providing experiences for others and laying foundations for legacies worth leaving. By the end of Ignite, we'll revisit the mission and explore your thoughts on a life worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And this is our belief system. So WI, they pronounce as Y for C2Ts. You'll hear that over and over again too. So that's where I mentioned earlier, win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust, start with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. Success, results through people. So again, Red Day, renew, energize, and donate is what RED stands for. The entire company sets aside the second Thursday of every May to renew, energize, and donate within the communities we serve. KW takes care of its own, so that's KW Cares, and we also have Springfield Cares. So you'll notice when you have that first commission check, that there's a place to fill out on your commission tab if you want to donate to KW Cares, or you can actually write in Springfield Cares. And that is dedicated to serving associates and their qualifying family members experiencing hardships as a result of sudden emergency. So if you donate to KW Cares, you're donating on a global level. It's going to KW headquarters and they're going to figure out where those needs are. So if there is a a hurricane somewhere. They might go into that community and spend some of those funds and have volunteers that will help in that area. But also we have agents right here who experience hardship. And so we have Springfield Cares, and you have to actually write that one in to make sure that the money goes to that and not to KW Cares. But that helps agents in our own community. And then KW Kids Can. Kids Can is dedicated to empowering young adults to unlock their greatest potential. So there's a course created by Gary Keller called Quantum Leap. You'll end up taking it at some point here because it's designed for young adults, but it's really for everyone. But that's part of KW Kids Can is that quantum leap. It's how do we get kids to envision a future, to create a plan for their life, and then how to take the actions to achieve it. And it's designed for, I think it's 18 to 25. Any ahas about KW culture?
I think the KW Cares, I believe in that. It's worth donating to. I received, my past wife, when she was dealing with cancer issues in Kansas City, they acknowledged it and helped me out. So it's, I'm a receiver of it, and I believe in it. When I first started giving to it, because of when you get your commission checks, but I was like, really, what? Nah, what? Anyway, you just never know. You just never know when it, you never know when something might happen, and it does work. It's not just, let's see if I can say this correctly. It's just not big community disasters that it reaches out to. It is also, individual people in the company, so.
I want to say, Cassandra, remember that time that you were in trouble and you called or you posted something on Facebook?
Oh, yeah, I was going to a showing with a guy that I had been communicating with online, and I never even thought anything of it. Of course, I was still pretty new, like 6 months. I get there and 5 men get out of the car. A beat up, old Sebring. Get up out of the car and they all just start walking toward me. And so I just start talking and trying to be chatty and find out who they are and what they do, stay as far away from them as I could. Some of them went this direction, some went that direction. It was just weird. And then when they were all up on the hill, I went and opened the house and then walked away from it, and I just let them go inside by themselves. And I immediately got on Facebook and I said, I do not feel safe. I need help. And so I had people calling me. We were pretending to be roofers on the phone. So I'm talking about the roof line. And then Amy showed up, and then Tall. Alex Moore showed up. And it was just weird. And they were nice, but they also looked crazy.
Well, the moral to the story is that the community here in Keller Williams, it's just, if you ever feel unsafe, just call or post something on Facebook. Somebody's always looking, and somebody will be there for you.
And really anymore, most of us don't go to a brand new showing without somebody. I went with Amy a couple weeks ago. And it's one of those weird things and my husband's a cop and I know better, but you just feel invincible. You feel like, no, it's okay, nothing's gonna happen. And then you show up and you're like, oh crap. So now we just all pretty much, if you have not met with them, which actually, number one, we'll go back, that's actually the first rule, is they need to come meet you at the office. And if they won't come meet you at the office, there better be a really good reason why. And we're not quite as bad as some of the big states that they require driver's licenses and stuff, and they'll make them send a picture of their driver's license over.
I do that.
Yeah.
They may not be required to do it, but I won't meet them if they don't. If it's someone I've never met, and it's not a personal referral, if they can't tell me who sent them, and I need to.
And they won't meet in a
confirm that.
public space.
Maybe in a public space, yeah.
But yeah, that's a perfect example of the culture that we have here. Like, we don't just have your back when you need to write a contract. Like, we have your back if we need to come and get you out of a dangerous situation, or if you need someone to go with you. So especially, as you're learning and when you're a newer agent especially, there's so many things in your mind that you may neglect the safety aspect of things. So make sure that you do think about that, ask for help, ask for somebody to go with you. I had a gentleman that I knew a little something about. He was referred by someone personally, but I knew about something in his background. And I had him meet me here. I know we're going a little off on a tangent, but I do feel like this is important to cover. And I'm sure that, and I'll give you a good resource afterwards too. But I had him come here to the office. I required a picture of his driver's license. I made an itinerary and I turned it over to the front desk in front of him so that he knew that people knew where we were going. I've never once in my life wore my phone on a belt, but I still had that little clippy thing and I clipped my phone to my belt and I turned my phone inward and I had my husband on the phone where he couldn't see it. Now, I went out with him on that first day. Everything was fine. He was a perfect gentleman. And we went out many other days after that together and he did close the transaction. But it's not worth it to put yourself into a dangerous situation. So even if you feel like you think things are on the up and up, you know, open houses too. I've had open houses where there was a basement. Don't go into the basement with somebody. You don't know what their intentions are. Let them go to the basement and they can ask you questions when they come back up. Or like Cassie almost always has a lender with her. So go in pairs with people. Maria and I have our best open houses when we do them together because there's just something about being able to kind of banter back and forth that makes people more comfortable. And so we've gotten some of our best leads that way.
Especially if it's a busy open house with 2 people, it's so much better than one, because you mean so much.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you have someone that just refuses to do all those things that keep you safe, you don't want them as a client.
Exactly. Elise Riley, she is an agent here and she's a former police officer. And so she will talk to you about all the safety tips. So if you're ever in doubt, give her a call and she will give you tips to make sure you handle it in the best way possible.
What is the Facebook page?
So we have a Facebook group. Have you done onboarding yet with Nicole?
It's not done with class, so.
Okay, so once you get onboarded, you'll get added to the Facebook page. It's an internal group page and we're all in there. Okay, so in this section, we're going to talk about how Keller Williams is a global company and your local market center provides, we're going to talk about how Keller Williams as a global company and your local market center provide value to you and your clients. Since 1983, Keller Williams has cultivated an agent-centric, technology-driven, and education-based culture that rewards agents as stakeholders. Keller Williams is the world's largest global real estate franchise by agent count and has more than 1,100 offices and 200,000 associates. Keller Williams is also #1 in units and sales volume in the United States and at the forefront of technology, training, and culture. KWX is the holding company of Keller Williams and is composed of Keller Williams Worldwide, Keller Manage, Keller Offers, and Keller Home Financial Services, consisting of Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered, all of which are designed to serve you, the agent, and your clients. So we're more than just a real estate brokerage. These statistics are from the year end of 2021, so they're slightly outdated. Updated stats may be found at headquarters.kw.com/awards. How does being a part of Keller Williams benefit you and your customers? It offers the services of Keller Mortgage, Keller Coverage, and Keller Offers to the people you know. Use these statistics to express your value to potential clients as needed. Share these statistics with agents from other companies who you consider great candidates to join KW, and share these statistics with those who express interest in joining the real estate industry. Later, we'll discuss your ability to give and receive referrals and how to easily connect with all other KW associates across the globe. So one of the things that I'm looking forward to in this Ignite is learning more about this. So I really have not used Keller Mortgage or Keller Covered or any of our other brands within my own real estate business. And I know that there's a lot of other companies that do. One of the lenders that I work for, they also have an insurance company. And so I realized, why am I not passing that referral to someone within Keller Williams as opposed to it going to another company and getting passed on? So that's something that I'm personally looking forward to learning more about. The top franchise for veterans in 2021, top female-friendly company, top 500 franchises in 2022, world's best employers in 2021, America's best customer experience in 2022, America's best employer for women and new grads, best employer for diversity in 2021. Training and coaching. So Connect and Connect Live. So if you're ever wondering where to find something or how to do something, go to KW Connect. If for some reason you can't navigate that and figure out how to find what you're looking for, go to Nicole in our main office. She is in charge of technology and she can help you kind of learn to navigate the system and find what you are looking for. We have local and regional training. We have events such as Family Reunion, which is coming up, and Mega Camp, which is in August. Keller Williams University. That's actually something as a new agent that you can start and kind of walk your way through, that teaches you all things about how to use command, how to use your database effectively, how to set up smart plans, and kind of how to get into your lead generation activities. And then KWU enablement is your, has your command training, and then KW Maps for Bold. So Bold, we just had in October? August. It was October the year before that. That is an 8-week course designed to really supercharge your business. They say that agents who take Bold do 11 more transactions the following year. It's all around mindset and nothing but mindset. It does have, we talk about our buyer consultation, our listing consultation, but we really track our activity and how many appointments, how many contracts, how many closings that we're having during that time. But it's also a great way to get to know other agents because you'll be put on a team, and that team really becomes, you're really integral during that time. You're really working together. You're really supporting each other. You're helping each other come up with ideas and being held accountable by that team.
And agents from other cities, they come from Branson and Dublin.
This year we had the biggest Bold that we had ever had anywhere in the entire world, right here in Springfield, Missouri. Do you remember how many?
It was like
people?
176, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, Command, your integrated end-to-end Keller Cloud platform for running and growing your business. So within Command, you're going to be able to host your database. You're going to be able to follow your transaction. You're going to be able to submit your commissions and get paid. You're going to be able to create designs for flyers and social media. You can track everything through your reports. What else am I missing? Campaigns. You can actually run like email campaigns. Tasks. You can set your tasks for for your lead generation and also for your transaction. You can create custom tasks or custom sort of like checklists so that it can be customized to you and your business and how you want to do things.
Well, and there is a way that all the information can transfer from your phone to Connect, and you learn all that. But any person that you meet and you have information of, make it a habit to enter in Command, because it's gonna be there. I mean, it'll keep track of every transaction you did, that person, emails, text, anything. So that probably is the best thing that it can do.
It'll connect to your phone, it'll connect to other apps you're using, it'll connect to your email. And so when you are in Command and you go to somebody's contact, you've made a phone call or you've sent an email, that magically shows up in their contact card. Now, if you've had a phone call, it's not necessarily gonna say what you talked about. It's not recording us. So you'll wanna still go in and write, you know, I had this conversation, this is what we talked about. But if you send an email, that email is in there. So it helps you to kind of see where you're at with that person, especially if you're doing like a long-term nurture and they're a lead that somebody's gonna buy or sell in the future. Let's see, and then we do have the app. So everything you put into command is also in your app. So you have everything at your fingertips. It's being constantly updated and made better. So when we first had it, there was a lot of things it couldn't do. Now it can do a lot more. It can't do everything yet, but I guarantee eventually that it will. And then your app is also, you can share that with your clients. So there's two things you can do. When you go into the app, you can, you know, go to your little profile and it'll say, share my business card. And it'll pull up a QR code and you can share that. Now they have all of your information in their phone. So you don't have to hand them a paper business card anymore. You can just have them scan that. You can also it says share my app, and that will send a link to their phone so they can download the app. So now when they're searching for properties or they're looking up anything real estate related, it's associated with you. It will also track it in your command so you can see what they've been looking at. So you have reasons to follow up. Oh, I saw that you were looking at 123 Main Street. What did you like about that property? Do you have any questions about it? But also it will keeps you top of mind because they're using your app with your name and your face on it. Okay, profit share. So this is one of the other things that is a benefit of being with Keller Williams. When you bring other agents to the brokerage and they become productive agents who are selling homes and making commissions, you have the ability to make passive income off of that. There's a class, I could not describe it to you. Cassie probably can't because she's awesome with numbers. But if you ever have questions about profit share, go to Landon. He can explain it to you really, really well. There's a whole tree as to how it works based on how many levels they are or how many levels wide you are. But it's a way to get additional income at no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, and no phone calls. So basically, it's a way to make money off of the people that you bring into Keller Williams, which is ultimately the best place for them to be anyway. Any ahas from that last bit?
I will share a little something. This is Sarah, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
With the profit share thing, one of the ways that it was described to me and I thought made a lot of sense is you go to any big corporation, you know, like I worked at Chase for 16 years and we offered a referral bonus. If you got somebody hired on and they ended up staying past the probationary period, the company gave you some money back in order to say thank you for bringing this person in. And profit share is basically the same thing with Keller Williams. The owners take, after they've paid all the bills for the market center, from what profit is left, they then share some of that profit with you for bringing in an agent that helped to make the market center better. So it's not coming from the agent that you brought in. It's not coming from you. It's really the owners saying, thank you for helping to make this an even better place to be.
Sarah, thank you so much. That was an awesome way to describe it. Much more articulate than my description.
Not my
And
first
also
rodeo.
for life, if you, after you die, your kids can.
Yeah, you can
It's
do
It's
it.
true. It can be willed up to 2 times afterwards. So yeah, it can pass down to 2 separate generations. It can also be put into a trust and then it is in perpetuity as long as the trust is maintained.
Anybody else want to share anything? Any ahas? Thank you, Sarah, so much.
It works. I mean, it's nice. You get a little check. It's kind of cool. Hey, all right.
So that was that's one of my goals for 2024. I put it on my goal list and my vision board is to have 5 active agents under me by the end of the year. I had never really focused on profit share before because honestly, I was just so busy trying to figure out how to be a realtor and how to create that part of the business. And last year it just finally clicked why, and I think maybe it was because, you know, that limiting mindset of I haven't been an agent long enough. I don't know enough.
We were so busy 2 years ago, so the market was crazy. There was no
market
time
was
for
crazy.
anything.
But I think that I wasn't really sure that I was the right person to be recruiting. And I had to eliminate that limiting mindset and decide that I was the person who should be recruiting. You know, that Keller Williams has incredible benefits for agents, and why shouldn't I be sharing that? So Hope was one of my very first people that came over. Brought in Nikki, same month, and I have 2 agents that will probably be joining this month. And so
Good for
hopefully
you.
get everybody into production. And it's really important that we support each other so that we do that, and so that we all are doing the activities, so that we're making a good living here in real estate. And so hopefully I'll be able to report at the end of the year that I've got 5 great agents under me.
Wonderful.
And I encourage you all to do the same. Okay, so we're gonna move on to some of our Williams companies. Okay, so like I said, these are things that I'm looking forward to learning about. I really don't know a lot about our other companies, so bear with me as I'm trying to teach you and I at the same time. Please study the websites of both Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered, so that you become knowledgeable of their products and services and can answer questions if you choose to refer onto those companies. The goal of Keller Williams is to keep you, the agent, at the center of the home buying process and home buying and owning experience. Keller Williams Realty has been joined by KW Worldwide, Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered, and Keller Offers to make sure you are at the center of the home buying experience and at the center of the entire life of the home ownership experience. When we bring these companies, especially Keller Mortgage, it's important to follow the RESPA guidelines, Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. Pursuant to RESPA, Keller Williams agents and associates must provide an ABA disclosure to the consumer at or before any referral is made to Keller Mortgage. So one, I believe, if I'm remembering my real estate laws correctly from school, you have to refer, if you're going to refer to a mortgage lender, you have to refer to 3. You cannot just say, use so-and-so. You've got to give them 3 different lenders, have them shop those lenders, find out what programs they have, what interest rates are offering. Everybody has something a little bit different. So it's only going to benefit your client to be shopping for their lender, but it's also, it would be irresponsible of us not to be referring to a number of people. So why do we even refer to any lenders? The reason I refer to lenders is because I have certain people I know have their systems in place. They do a really, really good job of communicating. I never have to worry that a ball's going to get dropped. So I actually have 5 that I love. And when somebody says they don't have a lender yet, I send them an email with a little description about each person and a link to their website and application. So that way I know that I've done the right thing to make sure that they've got enough people to shop, but I'm still able to offer guidance as to who some of the best lenders are to work with. I do the same thing with insurance. I don't know if it's required to do 3 with insurance, but I do the same thing with insurance. And then inspectors, same thing. I always have 3. I don't know, I guess that's,
I say, and
I kind of
insurance
just
too.
follow that rule no matter what.
In that way that if something happens in the transaction, the client cannot say, well, you referred me to them.
Right,
So you get that, if you give them a choice, it's your choice. And also, I do not refer anybody that I have not used. I'd rather say I don't know anyone. Or if I'm in a pickle, I say, well, there's this company, I have never used it. They have good reviews. And like I said, be truthful, honest.
Yeah. Sometimes I will go into the Keller Williams internal page and I'll say, hey, can you give me some recommendations for someone who does this? If I don't have somebody that I've used in the past, and then I will pass on all of those names so that they can do the research themselves. Okay, let's see. What else? Oh, and then for RESPA, we have a disclosure. So it's called the Affiliated Referral of Business Disclosure. It's part of the packet of what we commonly refer to as employment documents. So when you're doing your buyer's exclusive agency or your listing exclusive agency, you will be including that. So it's a disclosure that says hey, if we refer you to any of these businesses, it's because we have a paid relationship with them. Just understand that, you know, that's the situation. And that way, again, there's not a liability or them coming back and saying, hey, we didn't know you had a relationship. We didn't know that's why you referred them. And I always tell my clients, these are people we have a relationship with. Some of them I would refer you to, and some of them I would not. So, but if I do, you know that we have a relationship with them.
So if you send the referral, then you also automatically send that form letting them know.
Honestly, the form, you just have to get signed no matter what. It's part of the required
compliance.
documents for
Mhm.
compliance. So you'll do that. So in the beginning, when you first have a consultation, before you've, before you've listed the home or before you've taken people to see a home, you're gonna come into a relationship with them through a document called exclusive agency. We're only working together, me and you. And it lays out the terms of our relationship. So then in addition to that, we're gonna have the affiliated referral of business. That tells them who we have a relationship with. And then we're gonna have our Missouri broker disclosure that tells all the ways that we're allowed to act as agents in the state of Missouri. And so those 3 documents, you're gonna have every client sign. And so that's the affiliated referral of business is what they're referring to here. And any ahas? I know that we didn't learn much, did we? I guess we just have to go to the website and learn all the things.
What is Keller Offers?
I don't know.
What, Amy?
I know, I'm like, wait, I didn't.
Keller Offers is the program. I don't think it's available here, but it's kind of like what Zillow rolled out where they were allowing people to, like Keller Williams would buy your house,
Yeah, I buy.
basically.
Oh.
So I don't know that we use Keller Offers in this area yet. But anywhere where there's like Redfin or Zillow offers, you'll see Keller Offers is also going to be available.
Thank you, Sarah.
Something for us to learn about in a new market that we may be going into. Okay, so the communities. This is also something, especially if you go to family reunion, you'll learn a lot about communities because every community will have a booth set up that you could go to and learn about. Joining these communities is a way to get plugged in with agents from all across the globe. So when you refer, you know, let's say I have a friend here that says, hey, we're getting relocated to San Antonio. Great. I've got a great referral for you. I have a referral for them, but I'm going to get one. So I might be involved in one of these communities. I might be involved in one of the KW referral pages, maybe at family reunion. I met someone there. But there's ways that I can, and through command, you can actually send out a broadcast for a referral in an area.
Oh, there's a Facebook page for that. in
Yeah,
Keller
there's
Williams.
a Facebook page strictly for referrals. So you can get, you can meet other agents. So I could say to my friend, oh, I've got a great referral for you. I may not have them yet, but I'm gonna go find them. So I'm gonna put out a broadcast in all these different ways, and I'm gonna get names of agents, and I'm gonna call and interview them. And when I feel confident that I found the person that's gonna be great to work with, I'm gonna connect them with my friend. And then I'm gonna send a referral agreement to that agent, and I'm gonna ask that they kindly give me a referral fee. So,
25-30% is negotiable.
yeah, it's negotiable. I would say, well, I don't even know if we can talk numbers now, but it's negotiable. There is a, I'm not gonna even say there's a standard. Okay, never mind. Okay, so another way to meet those agents is to get plugged into these communities so that you can, well, one, like with KW Luxury, once you're in KW Luxury, there's certain criteria that you have to meet, but then you're gonna get referrals in that luxury market. You're also gonna be able to do marketing through KW Luxury. You're gonna have the KW Luxury sign. So there's different benefits that come with the communities. And in addition to that, the referrals and the other agents that you'll be able to meet. Okay. Now we're gonna start talking about your career vision. Now we come to the fun part. After being introduced to all that Keller Williams has to offer, it's time to focus on you, your goals, your dreams, your vision. What drew you to this career? Okay, so we're gonna go through a series of questions. The first one is, what drew you to your career, to this career? Who would like to share?
I've already said, but I just feel like the Lord's been preparing me for many years with my previous position.
This just felt like a good transition.
I've been for like the last few years asking, have friends that go into realty and that kind of thing, and everyone has pointed toward KW to get started. So I'm here to soak it all up.
What excites you about this career?
Helping people. Love it.
Else?
How big you can grow, the growth that's involved. I mean, we're in a building right now that's, that would be nice to have, or not so much to have, but to provide employment or provide income for people that are wanting to get involved. So the growth.
What else?
I'm excited about the family and the community because there is so many agents that just like, I have one friend that sold like 3 houses in a whole year, one that did 4, and that's because they don't have this. So I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Anybody else?
I enjoy the challenge of problem solving. So this is one of those businesses that requires.
Absolutely.
That's who,
I love
a lot
problem
of
solving as
that.
well. And that's, I think, I was a paralegal when I first came out of school, and there was a lot of problem solving involved with that. And that's one of the things that transitioned into real estate that I love, which not everybody loves that part of it, but some of us do.
And it involves one of the largest asset purchases that a person will make in their life.
Right. And being able to be a guide and help them achieve that. What do you intend to achieve for yourself and your family? Anne?
Is this our why? We've got some debt that needs paid off, so that's, we put 5 kids through college. Still working on the last one, but thankfully we're not going into debt for her, but we went into some debt for the older ones. So that's my big goal. And then for myself, it's more of a personal satisfaction sort of a thing. You spend a lot of years at home with the kids, and now I have the chance to kind of pursue personal growth. And so I'm kind of excited.
I think, to me, I love the challenge of it. I know, if you said, I'd love to have $10 million in the bank and to have any money worries, but I think life would be terrible that way because there would be no challenge. And someone said here, you're unemployed until you make a sale, that kind of challenge. And, I enjoy, and the freedom just to do what you need to do, the freedom, flexibility, all of that feels to me.
Anybody else? What you want to achieve? Cassie, you want to share anything?
Financial freedom. And opening my sanctuary,
Doggy sanctuary.
my doggy sanctuary.
So I'll share that some things I have achieved and things that I still want to achieve. Mine are very much like things to just check off a list. Like I had to put braces on 2 kids. I had to buy 2 cars. I got one getting ready to graduate and going to college. And I want to make sure that they don't exit college with amount of debt themselves. I also have a vision for a prayer house. So I have a wide variety of things that I want to accomplish, some for my kids, some for myself. Sometimes we do things for our kids and then later it's time to do it for us. Let's see, let's visualize where we can be 1 year from now. So take a look at these items up here on the list, and we're gonna go ahead and get like a piece of paper. You can write in your books. I have no idea what page you're on. I don't know if it lines up with these pages or not. What'd you say?
1.15.
1.15. Okay, so let's imagine it's 1 year from today. Write the date on your participant guide. This is what has happened over the past 12 months as you look back and reflect. And then I'm going to read these bullet points. I'm gonna read that before we do that activity. Your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value you provide and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You are helping others live their life by owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and momentum for your entire career and gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You are the top agent in your market center or rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of the 20% that grows your business. You are on the path to ... So 1 year from today, if you woke up and you looked back on the past 12 months, you'd be able to write down, these are the things that I achieved. So take a little time to do that. Hey guys at home, I want you guys to do the activity too. And I'd love for one of you to share when we get done.
Look, this is me.
Let me see it, all so cute.
Such a model.
Great.
Uh-huh.
Love it.
Yeah,
So they just do that off a picture?
I guess.
That's adorable.
Do you know what the YouTube channel is for this?
You know what, I was just texting with Shanna about that.
It's under Rachel Lusk.
Is it still under Les? Okay, so, our Keller Williams YouTube page is under Rachel Lusk. If you don't find it under Lusk, look under Watson, that's her married name. But everything that is recorded gets posted there. It will be posted the day after. So I don't know who
It is under
uploads
Lusk.
them, or it is under Lusk. I don't know who does the posting or when they do that, but typically it's the next day. So if you have to miss and you can't be on the video live, then you can watch it separately.
I just looked, when I first subscribed, I just looked Keller Williams, Greater Springfield or whatever, and it came up.
If you're still working, you raise your hand. Is you still working on it?
I was just telling my sister, I can't wait until next, like, I'm ready for next January so I can see we passed all this part, but I know it's part of the journey.
Yeah. Well, you'll have fun along the way too. So.
I'm terrified, but I'm excited.
I know the feeling. I wake up that way every day.
So it just continues, huh?
Well, it's just like what David said, every day we wake up unemployed and we have to go out and get a new client and a new contract, you know? So yeah, it doesn't. Through the activity and the consistency, we can eliminate some of our fear. But yes, I would say that I still wake up every day and think, am I still a realtor? But it always turns out that I am. I still am.
Most of the time it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is a lot of fun. Yeah. If you like people, you'll always enjoy what you're doing. Because even when it's tough, I mean, I had some tough ones this year. I had a couple of people that I hope never to work with again. And I had some great people who I loved that we went through really hard transactions. And that really was the most rewarding transactions that I had. Because I got to help them navigate that and reach their goal in a way that satisfied everybody and met everybody's need. It wasn't necessarily what all of us thought it would be by the time we got to closing or hoped it would be. But if you're able to, if you love people and you remember that the other people on the other side are also people that you're supposed to be loving, then you will take good care of everyone. And in the end, everybody will get what they need, even if it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. Yeah. So then try to have fun. I try to make a lot of jokes. They don't always land.
That's the way jokes are.
Sometimes I think, oh, that probably wasn't the right time for a joke, but you know, it's kind of like the doctors and the nurses who have been through things, 500 times and you're the patient that's only been through it once. Sometimes I tell jokes at the wrong time because I know that everything's going to be okay. And I forget that they don't know that. So I have to. Okay, who wants to share their vision for the future?
I just want to say something.
Okay.
So when I started here 5 years ago, I was doing Ignite and we had a contest or something, a mold was gonna happen in Joplin.
Oh, yeah.
Well, had no job, had no money, and the contest was to pick one of the contract, and my sister-in-law had a lot. And she said, well, put it on the contract. So I won the contest. I never sold that out until, 2 years later, but anyway. So I went to bowl and we did this exercise. A year from now, what would you do? And I was looking, I usually, because they mail you the letter to your house, a year later you get it. And
Oh, yeah.
everything that I put in there. And when I was running, I was like, I'm not gonna do that. A new car, never. It was a new car, a treat for my family, just little things that I never thought I could do it. I did them all that year,
That's great.
all of them. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah. And Liliana went on to be one of the top agents in our market center in a very short amount of time. Who wants to share their vision? one brave soul. Anybody?
So-
Oh, good.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Richard.
Okay, so I would like to successfully farm a subdivision of around 80 homes with a 25% success rate, ratio, which basically, you know, in a subdivision of 80 homes, I would just guess to make that possibly 5 homes might sell annually. So the goal would be able to hopefully achieve that in 4 to 5 years. Okay, that's one of the goals. And once I master that, just keep duplicating that with additional subdivisions.
Do you know what resources that you need to
I'm
be?
learning that.
Okay.
I'm in the process of learning that. I've already got the subdivision,
Okay.
but I'm learning the process of it now.
It's not park crust, is it?
What was that?
It's not park crust.
No.
It's not
I'm
Brentwood,
taking
is
that
it?
one over.
We're all gonna be like, you're not. Check.
Stay out of there.
Yeah. You wanna share your spread?
Sure, this is, I have to explain it, but it's, my vision is to create a net worth of $10 million through real estate to be used for the good that it can do and to fund a life true to myself. So I want to back up to the good that it can do. It's not, you know, personally, I could probably make it just quite fine on $30,000 a year. You know, I mean, money does great things, but anyway, but I'm looking at providing employment for people, looking at orphanages, looking at obviously leaving some good stuff behind for my children and grandchildren. So the good that it can do, it's not so much about, hey, look at me, I've got $10 million and I've got a big building like this full of people, la da 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 da, but it's more about the money, what it can do. Money is a big tool. In fact, unfortunately, we can't trade chickens and pigs anymore. Anything you want,
Not yet.
you gotta have a little bit of money. So that's that.
Mary, you wanna share anything?
My top one is to have my license.
Just
And-
check.
And
That's coming.
then achieve some financial freedom and bring on another agent.
Keisha.
I have a few friends that are inspired, like, that's my dream job, that's this, you know, so I can do it, they can do it.
We can learn together, share what you're each learning and build each other up.
And by 2 years, I know you have to be in 2 years to start the luxury homes. So that's exciting to learn a little bit more about.
I'd like to break into that market as well. I don't know much about it yet. I mean, about Keller Williams luxury specifically. That's an area I'd like to break into. Cassie, you wanna share anything?
So this time next year, I will have done at least 34 transactions, paid off all of my debt, purchased the land for my sanctuary, gone on 3 trips. And I can't remember what my other one was. Well, my debt's paid off, so I have to do that first. Like, that's the very first thing I have to do. I can't go buy land until I pay off the debt. Oh, and then I hire admin and maybe add to my team. That was the
You
other
can
one.
see how the longer you're with Keller Williams, the bigger your visions will get and the easier your goal setting is. Right?
That's so good, yeah.
I mean, the first year
And we break it down. So I have to have 75 conversations a week. I have to schedule 2 appointments per week to be able to do that. And that's me taking 5 weeks off. So, yeah.
and you wanna share anything?
I actually have like a list of like 5 separate things, but a couple of them, paying off the college debt, as I mentioned earlier, I'm thinking in less than or equal to 5 years. hopefully can do it much faster than that. I guess maybe I'm thinking a little low, I don't know. Investigating and participating in real estate investment, finding our lake house. And I didn't know you had to be 2 years to be luxury, but I live down in the Branson area. Actually, I live west of Branson, close to Cape Fair. So I'm interested in doing the lake homes. So I didn't know you had to be in it for 2 years, but I wrote becoming a luxury lake home specialist. So I can get started on that.
I think you also have to sell like 3 properties, over 700,000.
That's to
Okay.
be branded as
Okay.
Keller Williams Luxury or whatever. You can sell whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Starting today.
Okay,
Right.
works for me.
David, do you want to share anything?
The process right now, you can do it easy.
I've got several things, but I think they're probably, I don't know, building the foundation for more than just a single person business. This year, and then at the end of this year, to have the freedom and ability to help others with the extra that I have. So that there'll be margin above what my basic needs, financially, time-wise, everything else to help others.
Liana? You want to share anything? Vision?
Wait to retirement. No, I took the year off because I had some health issues. In this, I did a lot of thinking and I'm gonna work smarter, not harder. I was working too hard and now I'm
good.
just life's too short. And I'm gonna be a grandma.
Oh,
So, yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm gonna be traveling to Dallas all the time. So I don't know what. Maybe I get a license there too.
Maybe. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Jeff, you got anything in your head over there? Any vision for the future?
Well, a few things. I mean, financial freedom, I think, means something different to each one of us. I have some investment goals with some investment properties and building a portfolio of executive rentals. And then I've also got some agent goals as far as I'm working on quantifying my agent goals. I've quantified my investment goals, but I haven't my agent goals. Because I just really am concentrating on pastoring my business better. My sphere of influence, those relationships that I already have. And just making more phone calls this year, making more touches this year. Really trying to concentrate on not being distracted into the 80% and staying focused on the 20%. That's hard for me because I'm a people person, and so relationship takes me down rabbit trails.
Yeah.
And so time blocking, I've never really had to do. I've kind of fallen into the trap of what God brings before me. I really invest myself in those folks that need me. So I've not really time blocked phone calls, time blocked touches. I've just done that organically. And it's been really good for me for 15 years. But I feel like I could be more purposeful. And so I'm in the process. That's one of the reasons I came to this class, because I'm in the process of trying to quantify that. And so to be announced.
So one of my goals for 2024 is to also be a better steward of what I already have. So when I set my goals for this next year, well, let's back up. So when I set my goals for last year, I decided I was going to double what I had done the year before. Well, because I didn't have any systems in place and I didn't have, I mean, I took on the leverage that I needed, but I didn't have her trained yet. That was a major fail and made me utterly miserable for about 6 months of the year. So I backed up that goal. And then when I reset the goal for 2024, instead of setting a higher production goal, I actually set a goal to be a better steward of what I already have. And so to to experience more profit by not, overspending. But also to touch on the relationship side of things. We build our business through relationship, but relationships can also take us out of doing our 20%. So I had to learn to time block, because one of the things that I gave up to build my business last year was time with my family and friends. And obviously your family has to come first. So my friendships really took a hit. So I actually started time blocking for nurturing relationships and having time that I could go to lunch and go to coffee dates. And I have those on my calendar. So that way, if I don't have a coffee date and someone calls and they need something, I can text them and say, they don't know that I'm in my 20%. They don't know I'm lead generating or doing something else. I just say, I'm in an appointment or I'm with someone. And then during that time that I have blocked, if I'm not in an actual coffee date or a lunch, I can take that time to call that person back. So then I can be purposeful about both, because we don't want to lose our friendships and our relationships to our business, especially because our business relies on those relationships. So we have to find a balance, and we have to give both the time and energy that they deserve. And the only way we really can do that is by time blocking and being purposeful with our time. I'm going to read some things that I saw here. So Hope said, I joined real estate to have a business that I could build and leave to my kids so that my kids could take it over. Sarah said she got downsized, and I love the idea that I could help people achieve their goals and their dreams. And Evan said, I enjoy helping others, and this seemed to be a good way to do that and make a good income. So they've answered a past question that I missed reading earlier. Okay. All right. So this is your big life. So this is kind of creating, this isn't necessarily why, but this is like the life by design that you want to create. So what are some, like Ann said that she wanted to pay off some of that college debt. So if you were to say, hey, these are some of the things that I want to accomplish, maybe it's not over the next year, maybe it's over the next couple of years, but what are those things that you want to do, and what are the dollar amounts associated with them? So you know the income that you need to achieve, whether it's the income for 1 year or the income for 5 years. It'll help you remember how people who are accountable seek reality and they face reality. So this is one of those activities that helps us with the reality of the situation. So when I set my goals this year, I had to put a number with every single goal. And I had to be honest with myself about whether or not that was a number that I could reach. Not because, my business is unlimited, but also remember we have relationships. So maybe I could hit that income goal. Maybe that income goal would be too much and would take away from family, and I had to shift some things. So that's kind of what we're starting to do here, is figuring out what do we want to achieve. I think a lot of us have a tendency to just say, I want to make this much, but why? Like where did we come up with that number? This is going to actually help us come up with the number and put reason behind it. So while you guys are writing, as you go through the next 4 weeks, you're gonna be offered the opportunity to learn some of the different models, like the budget model. Cassie, what's all our models? I don't know what they're all called, but we have 4 of them. But for one of the things that we're gonna be looking at, we're gonna create our why. We're gonna figure out how much income that we need, you know, what do we need to pay our everyday bills? What are the big things that we wanna accomplish and check off our list? That's gonna tell us how much we need to make, how much we need to net and bring home, but then from there, we're gonna need to figure out, okay, well then my expenses gonna be? And so how much commission do I actually need to make? What do I have to set aside for taxes? We're gonna be able to walk through all of these numbers so we can set really, really specific goals. And even with that, we have to remember that we need to be a little bit fluid, because as we start to implement and figure out the actions associated with that, I set my goals probably maybe 2 weeks before the new year. And here I am 2 weeks after the new year, and we've sat down, we've created some action plans, and that clarity that came from that has shown me I already need to adjust these numbers. Like there's already things that I'm like, oh, that's not what we figured out. I need to change that. So just remember too, to be flexible and give yourself grace that these things it's kind of like a moving target. As you figure out what needs to be done to reach the goal, it may change the goal a little bit, but make sure that you're changing your goal based on the facts and the reality that you've sought out, and not on your feelings and emotions and feeling in your limiting beliefs. Any ahas associated with the activities that we've done in this section?
Sure, why not? So, my aha is the number in the center, the 364 or whatever your number is, has to be the net commission income. And so that means that your gross commission income needs to be quite a bit bigger. And I was gonna talk about the 60-40 rule, you know, or the 30% to marketing, 30% to cost of operation. But it sounds like you're gonna talk about that later, so I'll hold off.
So are you like, what's that called? Profit first model? Is that
Yeah, what
you're-
it is, my goal is to do 250,000 NCI this year, which means I'll have to have a gross commission of 400,000. Because you take out the cost of the cell or the cost of operation, which is, you know, your dues, things that are fixed, you know, a certain amount of fuel. If you have an office, office rent, things like that. So that's 30%. And then the marketing, the cost of the cell marketing and the things that you need to do to get out there. So it's another 30%. So you take 250,000 times 0.3, it comes up with, I think it's 75,000. I will spend 150,000, or excuse me, 75,000 in marketing and such as that, but we can get into it later.
So there's a lot of different, so the budget model, so Cassie, what's the other one I'm thinking of?
I don't
We're
remember.
gonna do with Shanna, and we're gonna do it. I don't think we're doing it today, but we're gonna do it.
I think you're thinking of the economic model, Amy.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so the economic model helps you figure out how many transactions you need to do in order to make the money that you want to make based upon your average cost of sale or your average home sale in your area or yours if you know it specifically from past. And then your budget model is actually taking into account all of the expenses associated with your business. So they have these different models and they should have them in your books, and we'll work through some of those. It may not be with me, it may be with someone else, but I also have mine kind of, just in spreadsheet form, and I'm happy to share that with you guys. And then some people operate with the Profit First model, which is a book that you can read, and I have that also. I don't use that one, but I have it available that I can share.
What's the book?
Profit First.
And Brian Stone, that's his big one, and Blake, do they both, does Blake still aspire to that one, or?
I don't know.
I know
I know
Brian can
Brian
teach
does.
it really, really well.
I used Profit First with my previous business and I liked it a lot.
Well, there you go. Now you've got another resource and can share with you. I am very much alike. I get really into the weeds with the details, so I list out everything that could ever possibly happen. And then at the end of it, I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna make any money because I've listed too many things, but I do. I still somehow make money. It's fine. To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration for doing it. Your big why. Where do your commission dollars go? So this is where we're gonna start to kind of break some of this down. So when we get a commission, we're working with 3%. Didn't say that. We're working with a certain percentage, X percent of the sale, which is negotiable with your clients. So when you are representing a buyer, you're gonna find out what your commission percentage is from the listing. It's gonna be listed that the buyer's agent is gonna be paid a certain amount. When you're the listing agent, you're gonna be negotiating that, and then you're going to list how much you're going to share with whoever brings the buyer. So that's how you figure out what your commission percentage is. So you're gonna take the amount of the sale of the home, multiply it by that percentage, that's gonna be your commission. But you're not necessarily gonna be able to put all of that into your pocket, because we have our market center split as well as our royalty. So with every single sale, you're gonna pay approximately 36% to your market center. That's how they keep the lights on, pay the insurance, the utilities, and keep us functioning. That's how they pay for our executive staff who teaches us all the things and make sure that our businesses are running and we're getting paid. And so we've got to pay into Keller Williams as the resource that it is for us. And then we're also gonna have our own personal business expenses. So we're gonna have marketing expenses. We're gonna have, how much it costs to put a listing out there. So some of the things that I do for a listing is I stage the listing. There's costs associated with that. I'm going to have the house cleaned. I'm gonna get professional photos. I'm gonna probably do some Facebook ads. So there's gonna be some expenses associated with that. I've got my administrative assistant. I've got to pay her. So I've got business expenses just like any other business owner out there. I've got to set aside a portion for taxes because I've got to pay my taxes throughout the year. And you've got, if you're on the listing side, you've got to pay the other agent. So you have to, this is why we talked about, if this is how much you need to take home to pay for all those things that you want, you've really got to make more in commission to cover those expenses, those taxes, and those splits. Oh, I guess I was supposed to be clicking this all along. You're a little, oh, that's so sad. That's a little depressing though, isn't it? Like.
Yes.
$5.
Click, click.
$5.
It's gone, it's gone.
Back up.
I know, I've clicked too many times. Okay,
You stop clicking, come on.
okay. So if your net income goal is $100,000, they use that as the example, because if you ask almost any new agent, how much do you want to make next year? Almost everyone will say $100,000. And why do they say that? Because they actually haven't done the figures yet. They haven't figured out how much they need to take home and what are the things that they want to accomplish in order to figure out how much do I really need to make. So in this example, if you want to take home $100,000, you actually have to have your gross commission as $180,000 because your business expenses could be somewhere around $50,000, and what you're paying into your company dollar and your royalty cap is $30,000.
Did it go up?
Well, it's the 23 plus the 6.
Then if you're on the team,
Well,
it's
yeah.
different.
29, should be 29. Right?
Why?
23.
So it
What is
used
it?
to
I'm
be
sorry.
23.
23 plus the 6,000 in royalty.
This is
No,
just an
20
example. This does not
20
have to do with us.
$20,000, 3,000 loyalty, in royalty.
And plus 3 for 3,000.
3,000 in royalty? I thought it was
Yeah.
6.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
That's just an example for our
Okay.
market center. This
Is
is
it
just an
maybe it is
example.
6, 20,000
It's
market center,
23.
6,000.
3,000.
23, I think.
I don't know.
Right here.
Somebody find out
It's in-
for us.
it's in
But
the-
anyway, this is an
Sarah,
example.
where are you?
20 and
Because
3.
this
20 and
was
3.
written for all of Keller Williams, and every market center has a different split based on their expenses.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if your average commission were 9,000, so the cost of the home times the percentage that you're gonna get paid on it equals your average commission. So in our area, I think we're more at like 270 something. And let's just say, in this example,
Mhm.
that X equaled 3. That's 8,100. So your average commission might be 8,100 in our local market. You would need, in this example, to do 20 transactions to reach this income goal. So then we could work through the same thing here. Does anybody want to share their income goal? Something different from 100,000?
Sure.
Okay. For what, give me a 1 year. A 1 year.
Well, let me recalculate.
At this 20, the average house is how much? Did you say that?
I think we're around
4,500?
Oh,
270, I
275.
think.
275,
Yeah.
okay.
I've heard everybody lately using average commission at 7,500 for here.
For 7,500.
Yeah.
So that's probably closer to 260, 265. I personally have figured my past commission and mine's a little lower. It's like 260-ish. And so that's what I work with. Average. That's what happens if you start working with investors. They might help your transaction go up and then make your dollar amount go down.
Sure.
All right, anybody want to share their number for the year?
I put 100,000, so. I mean, that's the honest truth, though.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna pick one then, okay?
I got one
Let's-
for you.
Okay.
So the net income goal is 250,000, which means my gross GCI is gonna be 400,000. And that's gonna be basically 54 houses, 54 units.
Okay, so your net, you want to be 250,
Right,
so we're following this, that goes on the top line.
right.
He's still gonna have his, let's just use 30, even though I think we're at 29.
Yeah.
For our cap and our royalty, our company dollar and our royalty. Business expenses, what do you estimate for business expenses?
Business expenses were 75,000.
The
Actually,
more houses you sell, the more expenses you have.
right.
And so that gives you a GCI of 400,000. And what did you use for your average commission?
7,500.
And so you knew that you had to sell 54
Yeah.
homes, 54 transactions. Does everybody understand that? So if anybody wants to work through this separately at another time, I'm happy to help you work through it. If anybody wants to see how I figure my expenses, I can help you with that. Everybody's gonna have a different way of doing it, but I'm happy to share mine. Okay, any ahas? And then we're gonna have our last little section really, really fast.
Well, if you come in as an individual,
Mhm.
you usually start a split of 70-30 here.
Yes.
But if you come in on a team, your split's 80-20. So just something to keep in mind.
Yes, consider adding another agent at some point.
If you come in on a team, your split is 80-20.
So with
I would
each
have to give
individual,
the team more, so then
so with each
I would
individual
get
transaction,
less.
your split is less. but you do have to pay in slightly more, but you're dividing it with another agent that you brought in as your teammate.
No, I thought he was saying, like, if I join a team where somebody else is the head of the team.
So in that case, that's a whole different thing, and it's different
Right.
for every single team, but that
Okay.
team is paying in an 80, is doing an 80-20 split.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right.
But if you decided to be the head of a team, like you brought in another agent to be on your team under you, as it turns out, not necessarily parallel, it's a whole thing.
If you wanna explain.
Then you're at an 80-20.
70-30 is what you said.
Yeah.
We're all paying in the same company dollar and royalty. We're just maybe getting a different split on each individual commission based on whether we're a single agent or a team.
The teams are always negotiable. Each team is different.
Can I ask a quick
The
question?
cap changes too if the goal is high enough, right? Because you're capped at a certain
That's right.
level and then you don't pay that anymore.
Right.
So,
Once you reach the cap every year, then your commission is 100%.
right, well, yeah.
This is a newbie agent question, but I feel like it's gonna be obviously a little while before I'm making income, because there's this huge foundation to create first with getting the database in, learning all that we're gonna be learning, and then starting to put it into practice, and then maybe finally getting your first client eventually. So when I'm making these goals, I'm not looking at a full 12 months.
That's not true.
Is that a limiting belief?
Yes.
Yes. You can make a phone call today and say, hey,
Yeah.
Yep.
what's your name?
But I wouldn't be
David,
ready.
hey, David,
Oh,
I've just
you
got
are?
into real estate. They'll say, wow, that's cool.
You are
You know?
ready. And why
I'm
are you
ready.
ready?
Cause I can get help.
Yes.
You can help.
And that's
Okay.
part of your script or conversation, like the first listing that I told you. They asked me, are you part of a team? Yeah, there's like 400 of us in our office.
So if I talk to a friend tomorrow and they say, oh, I wanna sell my house.
Yes.
I can
yes.
call up, say Shanna, and just say,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
walk
Oh,
me
yeah.
through this right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
me,
All right.
Cassie, or anybody.
So-
What about the way I feel about it though? That I want to have the foundation in place?
That's not good.
That's a way
That's
to-
the way you learn.
Okay,
That's
I guess
the
that's why I'm
valuable
here, is to be slapped. Good enough.
I get on
And
the
that's
phone
a
right now.
natural,
That's fair.
it's a natural
appreciate it.
idea, because if you're going to feel like you're being fed with a water hose
Oh,
or a
yeah.
fire hose,
Yes.
and you're going to learn, but you still gotta make money.
Right.
So, and I will tell you too, I'm the same way, like, I wanna learn everything, I wanna be perfect at it before I go out and do it.
Yes.
And I screwed up, I only did 2 transactions my first year, and then I did 11 transactions, and then I did 13 transactions.
Okay.
So, and I also was doing it the way I'm told to do it, not what I'll just do it my way.
Oh,
Like that's,
Yeah.
I teach this class in 2 weeks, so I'll be telling you that as well.
okay, good enough.
So, yeah, Ann, I think I'd have a script put together. Like, hi, Ann, I'm just getting into real estate, Is
The
that cool? or
easiest
what? I'm
one.
excited. Oh, by the way, do you know anybody that maybe is looking to buy or sell?
Oh, okay. That works.
And if they go, well, what do you know so far? I know I have 500 agents in the office that are willing to share all their knowledge with me. It's gonna be an
And
amazing
even if you're
transaction.
not
That's fair.
on a team,
Mhm.
we're all a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you're a productivity, you are on a team.
Mhm.
Technically in the system, we're a team. Our entire brokerage is a team. So you can say, I'm working with a huge team of agents that have this,
Mhm.
this plethora of experience.
Right, okay, all right, I appreciate it.
Plus for me, it didn't stop being scary until I had done it a few times.
Hmm.
That was from Sarah. Yeah, it's gonna be, it's still, sometimes it's still scary. I had one a couple weeks ago that I literally wasn't sleeping over a situation,
Hmm.
and it's all gonna be fine.
And you will mess up, and it's okay, because that's how we learn.
You'll ask for help. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the last part really fast because I'm going to respect everyone's time during the days that I'm teaching. So our daily success system, which we won't do today, but we will start tomorrow, is that we're going to be working towards 10 conversations a day, 10 contacts added to our database. So maybe you know those people, but you haven't put them in the database yet. Maybe they're brand new people that you just met, or maybe they're people you're friends on Facebook with, and you're gonna reach out to them and say, hey, I just got into real estate. I'd love to send you I'd love to send you my business card. Can I have your address and your phone number? You know, that type of thing. 10 handwritten cards and the 10-5-1 system around social media engagement. And then there are some enrichment activities. So I really want to be clear about the activity being separate from the outcome. We have to do our activity to ever result in an outcome. But just because we aren't yet seeing the outcome, we cannot stop the activity. So over the next 4 weeks, I want you to be really, really focused on just doing these activities. Do your 10 conversations a day, do your 10 contacts, do your 10 handwritten cards, engage in social media. And then the enrichment activities are designed to help you become more knowledgeable about real estate in the process. We will celebrate when you have wins, such as appointments, agreements, and closings. But we will not be solely focused on that outcome, because it's important. In real estate, we always say that whatever we're doing now will show us results in 90 days out. So we've got to just do the activity because we're building a foundation right now. We're not necessarily looking to see the result right away. Do not call people that are on the do not call list. If someone has given you their phone number,
You could call them.
you can call them because they've given you their phone number. If they have not given you their phone number and you found it somewhere online, you better make sure they're not on the do not call list. How do you find the do not? Great question. I've yet to figure it out.
You know what I do?
Oh.
I go to
So
the
you go to Nicole and you say,
Missouri,
help me access the do not call list.
go to.
I don't call people I don't know, so I don't have to care.
Yeah, me
I only
too.
call my sphere.
Go to the Missouri website, Attorney General, and he has a link there. And who's in the no-hold list.
Attorney General.
Okay, well, that's a much simpler way than how I have been directed in the past. But whatever the case, don't call people on the do not call list. So powerful conversations get results, lead generate, uncover motivations, identify objections, close deals, speak in terms the customer understands, and build confidence. So the more conversations you have.
And these are conversations about real estate.
I'm gonna, remember how we talked the other day in coaching about how everybody's goals are different? If you told me to have 10 conversations, I'm not going to require myself to have 10 conversations about real estate. I'm gonna have 10 authentic conversations at some point in which I'm going to mention real estate.
Oh, right.
Because
okay.
I'm nurturing existing relationships. I want to be top of mind when they have a real estate need. I want to remind them that I'm the expert, but I'm going to do it in an authentic way because I really just want to continue to build that relationship. So I'm going to have an authentic conversation about them, about me, about our families, about what we've been doing. And then at some point, I'm going to slide in a little reminder that I'm in real estate.
And it could be like, how long have you lived in your house? Do you still like your house? You like the neighborhood? Or, you know, it doesn't have to be, do you want to buy a house from me?
Right.
You know?
It doesn't have to be the age-old question, who do you know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in the near future?
Come on, that's a big one.
Well, and some people are more comfortable asking that one than others, so find the way, the conversation that works for you. You can also have conversations via text, via Facebook Messenger, like don't feel like it all has to be voice to voice.
Okay.
Voice to voice is always best. You're gonna get more information out of people voice to voice, but we also live in a world where a lot of people want to message. So
Where are they
if that's
from?
their
Keller Williams?
preference,
That
connect
starts a
with
lot
them
of
however you
conversations
can.
everywhere.
And the more conversations you have, the more you will learn how to uncover their motivation. Just keep asking questions. Why is that important? The easier it's gonna be to identify their objections and figure out how to overcome them. So-and-so said this to me on the phone. I didn't know what to say, so I just said, okay. Well, you're gonna tell that to somebody and one of us is gonna say, well, here's what you could have said. And the next time you face an objection, you're gonna know what to say. So the only way to get good at conversations is to have them. The only way to get good at a real estate transaction is to have them. So Anne, that's the answer to your question. You're
Okay.
never gonna know everything until you get into some transactions. So you gotta get those transactions to know everything. And even then you won't. Purpose and benefits of conversations. Did you find everything you were looking for? Go ahead, look around. I see you admiring that big screen. Are you looking to get one? So it's kind of like when people come into an open house. What has you out looking for an open house, looking at houses today? Have you been looking for a home for a very long time? Has anybody been showing you homes? What do you like best about this home? When are you looking to move? So you're uncovering their motivation and you're figuring out how you can help. So just remember that. We're not salespeople, we're guiding. Ask all the questions that you need to figure out how you can help, whether it's now or in the future. And your sphere, so we're gonna start with our sphere, right? That's gonna be the easiest place to start for some of us. So when we're having 10 conversations, a lot of us are gonna start with our sphere. Our sphere is people that we have met. We know them in some way. Some are closer to us, some are more of acquaintances, some are people we just met one time through a friend. But that's the people we're gonna start with when we're having our 10 conversations, when we're sending our handwritten cards. And I hope that this book also has some examples, but if not, I'll create them for you. So we're looking to catch our sphere when they're on the move. So this is our nurturing. So long-term nurture, people aren't moving every day. We're not gonna call somebody and automatically, oh my gosh, we actually were thinking that sometimes that'll happen, right? We were actually just talking about moving. But for the most part, we're looking to nurture, 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 nurture. I'm top of mind because I've been nurturing and now they're ready to move, so they're gonna think of me. And then we're kind of on this downhill slope. So downhill slope, they're not even thinking about it. They just moved. They're not even thinking about it. I'm not gonna quit nurturing them here either, right? Because I'm so grateful that they thought of me and let me be the realtor of choice. I'm gonna keep them plugged into everything I'm doing for everyone else. And I'm gonna continue to do that until they wanna move again, or until they refer me to somebody who does. A great way to have those conversations is the Ford method. So when you call them up on the telephone, Cassie, ring, ring, ring.
Hello,
Hey Cass, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's EJ?
He's good, back at work after the crazy weekend.
Oh, the crazy weekend. Tell me more about that. Did you guys do something fun? So
We went to the
skipped
Chiefs,
over.
yeah, we went to the Chiefs game and froze our toes off.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
I
my gosh, you're
cannot believe
crazy.
you did that.
Yeah, we did.
Well, at least they won, so.
So you said that EJ's back at work. Is he still enjoying his career?
He is, I'm not, but he is.
Oh, really? Tell me more about that. You're not enjoying your career?
No, I enjoy my career, I don't enjoy his career.
Oh. Oh, I see what you're saying. Has he ever considered a career in real estate?
We have talked about that. I'm just gonna let him decide what he wants to do. He's eligible to retire and he can make his own decision.
Well, you know that whenever, if he ever makes that decision to make a move into real estate, I'd love to be the person to introduce him to Keller Williams.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, tell me what else you guys have going on this year. Any big trips or anything planned?
We've got a trip to Jamaica in May.
Oh, you guys take the best trips. I'm honestly, I'm just gonna have you make a list of all the places you've been, and I'm gonna start checking them off my list.
Yeah, just follow right behind me.
Well, that's awesome. Kids are doing good?
Oh, yeah, super good.
Well, I just wanted to check in. Is there anything I can do for you right now?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay, well, you know that if you ever need anything, I'm always here. I want to be a resource and not just for you, but for your friends too.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, it was great talking to you and I'll check back with you in a little bit.
All right, thanks, Amy.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Easy. Okay,
So what
So-
you're saying is that the four, family, education, recreation, and dreams.
Yeah.
Really,
so I'm following, yeah, let me step back. I'm following that, and you don't have to go in order. I think that this is probably designed to be a natural order, but you see, we kind of jumped around, but we
You don't have to
use
do
that
it
as a
all.
reminder of some of the things that we could talk about that are authentic, right? It was an authentic conversation. Now, if I was calling someone that I have a relationship with and I know quite a bit about them and about their family, it's going to be even more authentic. We're going to be able to get a little bit deeper into the conversation. Whereas if I'm calling someone that I don't know as well, I can still use this model. We just may not get as deep. You know, it may be a little bit more surface, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't authentic all the way around. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's something that you can use when you're feeling like, okay, so guys who are at home, we're at the very end and we're gonna do some last minute ahas. So if you wouldn't mind to type in some ahas from the entire class today. And then also I'm gonna read some questions. How has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets were new? What do you feel differently about and what was meaningful to you today? How will your behaviors be different going forward and what actions will you take? And what tools, models, and systems will you use? How will they make you accountable? So ahas, and then also maybe if you want to answer one of these questions, whatever you feel led to share as we wrap up today.
I think the aha at the end was the fact that the conversation does not have to be around real estate. It's just checking in, saying, hey. And then I'm gonna speak for somebody in the room. The aha for Anne
Tell Ann what
was that
she's
she could have a
thinking about.
transaction begin tomorrow.
That's right.
I just wrote something very similar to that down. I will have help if I catch a fish.
I
Yeah.
remember, it's probably been close to 2 years ago now, but there was an agent who literally came into coaching, and I think on her second week of coaching, she had a transaction.
Yep.
Wow.
And we all took turns that day helping her write her contract and helping her get her employment paperwork. Like, she just had to bounce from person to person to person, and whoever was available took over. And she was brand new. And you know, that's the culture that we have here. So please, if you have somebody reach out to you,
yeah. don't
you've got a
ever say
whole
I can't.
team behind you. Do not let lack of knowledge hold you back, because the knowledge that you get from that transaction will be invaluable. Ahas?
Which one you're speaking of, is that the Mondays with Shanna? Or what is that?
Wednesdays.
mornings.
Wednesdays
at 9.
With Shanna at 9 here or on the?
It's here.
It's
It's
here.
here. You will
have to
have a
sign up
meeting
for
with
it.
Shanna and get signed up for coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, every Wednesday from 9 to 11 is group coaching. And then you can also do a one-to-one, I believe. Everybody still gets a one-to-one, I don't know. And also workshops on Thursdays at 10.
I don't think she'd care if you showed up tomorrow at 9
And Lead Gen in Nixa from 8 to 10
on Fridays.
is all part of our coaching program.
I think, yeah, she would let you show up once or twice to coaching without having
Yes.
signed on, just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Plus you haven't even.
You don't even have your license
Yeah,
yet, so that's
right.
a
Yeah, we
little
need to
bit
put some
jumping the
pressure
gun.
on you. You gotta have a license.
I did the
She
same
told me-
thing.
What she told me when I was still where you are is, don't worry about that stuff now.
Right.
Get your license.
Yeah.
Focus on getting that done, because then you can start all the other stuff. But if you need to focus on the one thing.
Okay.
So that's the thing that you have to do, is to get that license. Don't start getting all distracted by these things that you're hearing that you're
Where are
not
you
ready
at?
to do yet.
Where are you at in your class?
This is
I'm ready for
Ann
the
speaking.
Are you doing
the
it on case
person
score?
that's gotta know everything before she can start? This is you?
That's an easy one, everybody.
We don't take our own advice.
I did the same. I mean, I took contract class probably 7 times before I even got my license though.
That'll be me, cause that's one of my,
Contracts and
I went to a-
command. So I walked in the door knowing how to do command because I did all the command classes before I was even licensed.
I went to a few things, but I focused on, I was doing it online, so I
Yeah,
focused
I
on
didn't.
watching the videos and, reading the books and then studying for the test and getting the test out of the way. Like I said, I did go to a few things because I wanted to know what this market center was like before I onboarded.
Yeah.
And so that's why I did that, but not necessarily to be like, oh, I need to start thinking about these things, but just, okay, interacting with people, seeing how they deal with
Yeah,
things.
I ask you, why aren't you in Branson?
I actually decided to be here. The more people I talked with, I decided that this was where I needed to be.
Who was the one that was here for so long? She went to college with me. And now she moved to Branson.
I know Carrie Tennis, not Carrie, Corey Jett came from Branson
Yeah.
to here.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
took bowl there one time in Branson. Do you remember? Were you there?
No, that's when I was with Jessica and Cabot, and was pregnant with the baby, not doing anything yet, and he was driving to Branson every week. So I remember when it was, but I wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
Any more ahas or any answers to any of these questions up here? Nope. Okay, well then we're gonna, oh wait, hold on, Sarah Tina Harrow. Hey, Sarah, by the way, I got readers. I started thinking about those agents that I've worked with and had a great interaction with who would be enriched by having their business with KW. That's her aha. So profit share, not for yourself, right, Sarah, but for them, because their business could grow if they made a move. Exactly, she said. Right, anything else?
one more time on that, what does that mean?
So she said, I started thinking about those agents, her aha from today. I started to think about those agents that I've worked with and had a great interaction with. So when you have an agent on the other side of your transaction and you think, man, this person's been great to work with. They've been problem solvers, like Richard said. They've helped us get over all of these hurdles. They've stayed positive. They've been easy to work with. They wanted a win-win. They represent the culture of KW. Why are they at KW? When their business, like Sarah said, could be so enriched by being here. So when we're thinking about profit share, I think a limiting belief is that it will look like I'm only asking them to come to KW for me and what it can do for my business and my income, but really we need to think about how it can enrich theirs.
I just had a closing. I haven't been working, but anyway, I just had a closing that I was the listing agent. The lending fell through. And I think she's Marnie, or no, maybe Reese Nichols. She was so on top of it, and I was thinking, I was getting ready to text her, hey, I have a great lender, we can try this. She texted me the same text. So I asked her, who's lender? And it's the same lender that I was thinking, Community Mortgage. I mean, within 2 weeks, we had new lending and we closed last week. And we were so busy that day because of the weather and all that. I didn't talk to her. And when we were talking about profit share, I just texted her, hey, I didn't talk to you at closing. I just wanted to thank you for a great transaction. Would you like to do coffee?
Yeah.
And then you started a relationship. And that's how you start. And everybody's intrigued about Keller Williams because people don't like us. No, I mean, we have a bad reputation or something, but.
I don't think we have a bad reputation. I think we have a reputation of how we've all drank the Keller Williams Kool-Aid.
Right, oh.
You bet we do.
We do,
But there's a reason. I mean, there's a reason. for
because
that.
it's this.
Yeah.
It's just a
And
great place to work.
it shows by how much we've grown over the past couple of years and how many agents have made the change. That's a great point. So for me, a lot of the people that I've been talking to have been my sphere or past clients, or I haven't reached out to as many people who are other agents, but Maria, that's what she focuses on. So she has Every time she has a great transaction, or every time she's doing something on a committee at the board and she really likes somebody, she invites them to coffee. You know, so it can be new agents that you're bringing in. It could be agents who are already productive that are coming from outside, from another brokerage. And all of our training typically is open to agents from outside so that you can invite them to come in and see the culture, just like Ann did when she wanted to see where she wanted to be. I mean, we're an open book, right? Literally, we have open books. We're an open book. Okay.
One more aha.
Okay.
It is, we're only 30 to 45 days out from a transaction to money in our pocket.
Right.
Because, you know, the average is 45, but everybody's thinking 60 and 90, maybe even longer, but that's the aha, is we're only 45 days out. Whatever that's.
All right, so tomorrow we will get involved with actually doing some of the activities. We'll just have about 2 hours of learning time. And then we will actually get into having some conversations. We're gonna have time set aside. I will not let you leave, so now you think about it. And I might even be sneaky and sneak it into the middle. We don't know what will happen. But bring your contacts, bring your phone, bring your computers. Be prepared with a list of about 20 people. Let's just start there. Let's start with 20 so that we can have some conversations, do some social media engagement, and send some handwritten cards. And I think they will give me handwritten cards, or they will give me cards to give to you guys. So there you go. And we will see you back here tomorrow. Thank you guys online. I don't know why I'm talking to this thing. Thank you guys online. I keep doing the same thing. I whispered
Right
to it
there.
earlier and I was like, yeah, whisper it. I don't know how to turn anything off in my credit too.
Is there an electronic version of the handout?
Yes, there
Where-
it should have been emailed to you.
I looked at my email because that's what I thought it should have been.
Yeah, let me call you.
But I
Have her
didn't,
come.
I didn't get it.
If you
Yes.
wanna copy
Did
one, I
one
can copy it
in the
in.
books.
Sure. I don't know how to turn anything off.
everything.
But thank you.
China.
And then also there's questions about where they access the.
During the
digital
class, I got my
version
head
of
there, Tori sent me that. Things for that.
Are you
I'll be there
excited?
tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
All day, huh?
Yes.
Sounds like it's gonna be like that for a few
Name
weeks.
tags.
I am not used to working full time, so.
You get so busy.
Used to go, we didn't.
I did too.
Right?
What they say?
She said she's gonna send up a follow-up email.
And there is kind of that idea,
I
like.
try to eat
but
better.
we're gonna talk
What's
about
really
regeneration
strange
next
is
week,
like,
so-
I can eat carbs with
I wanna
no
wait
issue.
until I hear
Like,
all
give me
about
a
it.
free
Start
cookie,
to
do it
do
for
it.
free.
Well,
My brain
you
works.
can-
But if you give me
So.
3 bananas,
I don't
there's
know.
no way.
So. Taking this
No way I
out,
can
right,
do
there.
that.
Maybe
Is there-
that
You don't
is there-
have it all.
Yeah, it's
Remember that
weird,
you
the
can
carbs
access them in the
They just
morning.
dissipate fast.
You don't,
They just,
So